106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Let's get this show on the road.
Before you say anything, prepare to shut the fuck up.
Screw me. I ripped ass at the ATM.
McLovin! Nice!
Sit back, relax, and enjoy Irrelevant Platitudes with your hosts, Peter Benici and Lil Dazil. James Walker. Name your eyes.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to episode number 53 of Irrelevant Platitudes. We're your hosts, Peter Benici and...
James Walker, joining you tonight with Amy Wright and Kayla... What's your last name, Kayla?
Williams.
Williams.
Yes!
To discuss all things irrelevant commentary, bringing you irrelevant commentary on all things pop culture and relationships.
Big thanks for stepping in for Lil there, James. You totally bottled the open of it. Will be fine. I totally gave you 3 seconds notice that you would have to cover that grab. I totally forgot that someone needs to say that. It's Lil. So you're Lil today. Okay?
Even though I'm in the wheelchair, I'd rather you had that responsibility than me.
So today we've got a very special guest. The cat's out of the bag already. But we've got Kayla, what do we say, Williams? Kayla Williams.
You can call me, my teacher name is Kayla Williams.
Is it?
Miss Williams.
Miss Williams or
Oh.
Kayla Elizabeth May.
Well, welcome to the podcast, Miss Williams. So we've got you on today. We're going to look at dating from, I guess, the fitness perspective. And also, as most of the podcast knows, my girlfriend is an ex-bikini competitor as well. So we've got her in.
BC.
Yeah. But it's good to have you back.
Thanks,
It's
mate.
been a little bit since we've had you
Thanks
on.
for having me.
So what was your last episode that we had you?
You were going to say,
here for?
what's your last name? And I'm like, well.
It's going to be Benici soon enough, all right?
We're waiting.
That's actually cute. I could propose on the podcast if you like.
You're going to be surprised now.
It's performance anxiety and a half, I think, for that one. But it was a while since we've had you on. It's been a few weeks.
A long
Months?
time. Months?
Possibly
6 months.
years. Well, it's been a year at least, because we're in the new year.
He said no, he can just candy episodes.
He's like, I'm going to
Yeah.
edit it. So I was like, yes.
100%.
It was last year. Wasn't our stripper episode, was it?
It might have coincided
Ooh.
with that,
Was it the stripper episode? Yes, it was.
ironically.
It was the stripper stories, which is a great episode, Kayla. I
Coincidentally.
think you should listen to it.
I'll go and play it.
We have a few stripper listeners, and they've submitted some stories in, and they're pretty fucking crazy. So
I'm sure they're more wild than mine.
well, we'll see. We'll see. So I guess obviously we'll explain how we met. Back in the day, you decided to train my fat ass through an F45 class. It was so memorable, you forgot.
Back in the F45 days.
Yeah. So I guess you can kind of explain your journey so far in fitness, and how that's kind of brought you here to talk on this
Where do we
podcast.
start? So yes, I was previously an F45 trainer back when we quote unquote say F45 was cool. So
They had that period, wasn't it? It was like
it was definitely it was
pre-COVID, and it just pumped for like 3 or 4 years.
45 minutes.
Well done.
It was post.
All right, you can just
nothing personal to nothing personal to those that still do F45.
No.
Each to their own.
Enjoy your injuries, it's fine.
But so I would say I've always been a bit of a sporty girl growing up, and then hit 17, 18, fell in love with running. As all girls do.
You were a runner.
As
I
all
didn't know
girls
that.
do. You know, the cardio bunny lifestyle, overtraining.
You get on the bandwagon, don't you?
Starving myself. You know, I think we've been through it all. I think every coach has kind of gone through the runs of having, you know.
It makes you a better coach.
The lack of education, I guess. So
Yeah, true.
we went through that phase, and then I obviously went into a teaching degree of a Bachelor of Sports Science, Exercise Science, and I am now a PE teacher. And alongside that, throughout my uni days, I was a PT, and that's how we met.
100%.
We met as I was coaching you through my uni days.
That was
Doesn't she look like such a
fuck.
PE teacher though?
100%.
Typical PE
Like,
teacher.
You-
that hot, lusted after PE teacher. She just screams PE teacher. Like,
Bit of those ones.
No.
So I do that every podcast, just so you know. I've got to find a gate for it, and that was perfect. I did forget though. We haven't done our drink of the week.
Drink of the week.
Obligated. We're obligated.
Yes.
Goodness girls like.
So we have totally pressured Kayla this
For
week
the
to
occasion.
have a white
We're
claw
like,
with
oh,
us.
I really want
It's
this.
look,
I've been
I want this.
we've
peer
definitely got to
pressured.
change. We've got to
peer
change
pressured
Yeah.
into this.
the
You
drink
and
of the
me both.
week because it can't be white claw every week.
Man,
We've chosen this
sponsor
for
you or
low
what?
calorie options.
Was it?
Cheers
Cheers.
to unwanted calories out of obligation.
It's okay. One sip doesn't count, right?
Sure.
The mango's actually not too bad. I
The mango's
must admit.
very sippable. I rate it.
95 calories, babe.
I'm more of a good tides girl, I reckon.
Oh, you actually are a good tides.
Good tides,
The
yeah.
Kiwi brand.
Yeah.
Big fan of the Kiwi
But
brand.
White Claw's pretty good too. I do like the watermelon and the mango.
Imagine if I spilt it on the machinery.
Well, I think you're in a pretty safe spot, to be fair. So I don't think you'll ruin anything
Never
too
say
expensive. All right, so obviously everyone's going to want to know. First question out of the gates:
Yes.
relationship status, single,
Very.
very
Must I
single.
say? Must I say? Very
Plus,
dot
plus.
single.
Okay, interesting.
Qualify as very single as opposed to just single. Been a while, or is
Like no. Well, it depends in what context you're asking. But in terms of dating, not much is happening. It's a bit boring at the moment.
Okay, yeah. So I guess it's more of what led you to the point of being quote unquote very single.
Single with a hard ass.
I think you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through
yeah.
a phase. I think dating comes in fluctuations. Would you say?
I agree.
I've
So
heard this.
you have periods where
Hot streaks. You have hot
I
streaks,
think,
man.
you know, you go through. I just broke up with my boyfriend. I'm gonna go crazy.
Rampage.
Right? Rampage. Then you go, oh, I'm a bit bored now. Then you start going, maybe I'm ready for another relationship. Then you start dating and investing in people. And then it doesn't work out. And then you're like,
Fuck this.
fuck it. Yeah,
I
you
never
know
thought
what? I'm
that
just not
girls
gonna.
would have more of a structured dating approach than guys. So my one is it's a lot more. I'll date, right? And I know this
What does
makes you
that
feel
mean?
uncomfortable.
It doesn't.
It's so
I'm only
like
kidding.
obviously when you
So
enter
used
into
to
a
it.
dating space,
You want to
you're
get
looking to meet people and stuff. But then I would treat each interaction like it
It could
has.
be a wife.
Well, no, but it has the probability
I
to
do the
be
opposite.
something else, right? Yeah. So
It could grow into more.
yeah, correct.
Mm.
I don't
kind of a good way to
necessarily
go into it,
have
otherwise you just
phases, but
sabotage shit.
I've heard this as a reoccurring theme though.
I think in terms of phases though, it's kind of like you don't intentionally or consciously do it. I think
Yeah.
it just happens. Like for example, I was happy dating, but then also you get caught up in your work and you can't be bothered. Like to be honest, I'm
yeah,
on my
man.
phone all the time, responding to clients, responding to DMs.
Just install the other app, mate. Tinder, you're good to go. You're fine. You can do both at the
Like
same
template
time.
responses.
Yeah.
template-
Yeah.
So when you get to going onto a dating app or something and someone messaging you all day, you're like, I don't want to be on my phone. I've had enough
Yeah,
screen
okay.
time for one
Yeah.
day. Like I just personally,
It does sound like you're not in the space.
I'm just not a
100%.
texter. I'm just
Yeah.
not a texter. And I'm
That's
a really
okay.
bad texter too.
I don't think
Hard.
I don't know many people that are good texters. I think
My
you're
texts are
probably
good.
you
When
are
I-
you
when I
are
do
a very
write them,
good.
they're good.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's also, do you know what I must say too? If you're actually interested, you'll
Make it
reply.
work.
Totally.
You will
I
reply.
always think this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You'll
you
always
will
Go
reply.
the extra mile if you can.
100%.
But it's like the slog at the beginning. It's like, what's your favorite color? You're like, oh fuck this.
Someone
But
needs
see,
to
that's-
entertain me.
That's where I think it's the part of the dude. So if it does fall flat, and obviously we're talking gender normative, all that sort of stuff, guys. Hey, Hashi. Well, thanks for listening, brother. We've got a powerlifter in the chat. Very.single.com today. You /support. Oh my God. I love you so much.
Oh God. Okay.
But it is very much on the guy, I think, to have that entertaining at the phase, at the start of the phase when you're seeing someone. But what I found
agree.
what are you doing? You can do whatever you want. It'll be fine.
Look how terrified I am. I'm like,
Amy's, to everyone that's listening, Amy's
because you-
petrified to
you'll
touch
get-
the microphone.
You'll get fucked on. Don't fuck with this stuff. Fuck with it with your life.
No,
Look
you're
at it.
fine.
It's worth more than my life. Look how strong it is.
It's
He's
okay.
like, what the fuck are you doing?
Do you want it closer? Do you want it closer?
That's why I'm terrified.
You're
I don't
okay.
know what I want. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't want to get beaten.
I've totally lost what I was going to talk
Sorry.
about. That's fine.
It's up to the guy to.
Yeah, to do the I guess the dance at the start, right? I don't know where I was going to go with it. No,
Because the
it's
boring texts just lose interest. I
Yeah,
just lose interest.
you need to take me. You need to if you're sliding into my DMs with hey, like
Oh my god! Or
Sorry.
a fire
Yeah.
emoji.
if you if it's a,
Like,
if it's
so
a reaction to my
you just
story,
get
get
emojis.
out of here.
Okay.
Like, I'm so glad I'm worth an emoji to you. Like, you're really gonna go the distance when you're the father of my
Like,
children.
ask me a question,
Yeah.
but also ask me a funny question.
Yeah. Okay.
Make me think. Make me go. Oh, what am I going to say back to this?
So I guess it is.
Engage me.
It is a common thing now because I didn't even realize we met through sliding into DMs. Really, to be honest.
I think that's most people.
Yeah.
But like, so I used to be a big approacher. Like, I would rather meet someone organically than I would through the apps and stuff. And I guess just over time, we hit that period where you were stuck in a house for 2 years, and you couldn't really approach people.
COVID.
Yeah. So that I think that fucked the dating space
Yeah.
significantly.
I think you're right. Actually,
It takes because you get a lot from the sense of someone approaching you, right? Like you can feel a person's
in the real
energy,
world.
a person's vibe, their tone.
I 100% would say
Yeah.
I meet people way better in person. I think that's why if I do meet someone on a dating app, I pretty much initiate a catch up straight away because
yeah.
then I'm really going to work out soon enough whether
Yeah,
I'm
for
interested or not.
sure.
And nip it in the butt early, I say.
That's good.
Don't waste time.
Totally, because you don't have time to waste.
I don't have time to waste.
Yeah,
I'm a
most girls
busy
will waste
girl.
Time.
Days upon months upon years.
Like reading between the lines and fabricating an imaginary guy out of like the shit sentences that you're getting.
You can't read a lot into it.
Yeah.
Emoji.
Because they could be great on comms and terrible.
Really deep. Totally.
They could be great
Totally.
on comms and terrible
You're
in person.
joking.
No, totally.
Absolutely.
I dated a guy that was sent like almost military, like
Essays.
hello, stop.
Essays.
Call me tomorrow, stop. Like it was like a fucking telegram. And I met him and he was super articulate. Dated for like 2 years.
That's all right.
Wasn't you?
I don't
You're
know.
really articulate. But different guy.
How's my texting? Is it okay?
Really, really very good. Colourful.
Yeah.
Grammatically correct. Great vocabulary. Funny. The odd GIF or GIF,
Yeah.
if you will.
I love how all my mates they'll be like, when we text Nooch, it's a fucking shit show.
an essay.
And it's
What?
like no. It's like multiple corrections. Like you'll see this. Like I'll just send shit. It's funny when you date. You're like no. I'll spend the time. I'll make sure it's all correct. Like,
That's a
but
good
when I talk to
thing.
these, I just vomit this shit and I'll fix it later. Because like the
Yeah,
IT
yeah,
brain of
yeah.
like it's fine. Nothing's compiled yet. It's all
understand.
good.
Girls pick
They'll
up.
understand.
Girls pick up
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. But it's just like right like you give a fuck, you know.
I guess okay. So we've got the fact that you are very single at the moment, Mr. Jimbo number 2. We'll tag team the questions.
I thought you were asking if he was single.
What was-
Are you single?
Well, actually, you know what?
you
We
single,
haven't even
James?
discussed how everyone's Valentine's days were. So we'll fucking peg question 2 for now. How was your Valentine's Day?
My Valentine's Day
Yeah.
was an interesting day. I had the day off work.
Yes.
The day off. I went to the Botanical Gardens with my bandmates.
Yeah.
Went back and had a jam. And then didn't catch up with my friend in the evening.
So you had a Palentine's Day. You didn't have a
like that.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we had
Hey.
we had a Jamentine's Day.
Yes!
I love
Jamming
it.
and recording.
Yes.
And,
Jamesy.
smoked some regular cigarettes.
Yep. Some very relaxing, normal cigarettes.
Regular, and the one I
Very
wrote
good.
goes so
How was your
far.
Valentine's Day, madam?
Really good, thanks.
Was
I
it?
went on a really nice dinner with a really nice man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Okay,
a really
cool.
nice place.
Yeah.
And it was a vegan, like,
Yeah. Mine was
degustation
putrid.
thing.
Terrible company. She wouldn't drink. And
did.
You know, no, you did.
he's
So-
like, drink this wood varnish.
Yeah,
And
to
act
everyone
like you
listening,
like it.
Amy's not a big drinker.
Okay.
You're not even a toucan spastic, man. You're like a half a sip, completely paralytic.
Like, call an
mess.
ambulance.
Yeah.
On my stomach.
One and done.
Yeah.
No, but it was good. It was a really nice dinner.
It was.
It was Kasumi. To everyone listening, I
that's
rate
right. It was
Kasumi
very-
very highly.
Romantic.
It's actually pretty clean too. If you want to have a cheeky.
Ooh, is it just?
Yeah. It's fucking awesome. It's just proper old school Japanese. Really clean.
We do love a Japanese restaurant.
Yes. How was your Valentine's Day?
Don't ask. Next question.
Next.
If you must know, I
Yes.
spent it with me, myself, and I.
That's fine.
And Miley, my dog, my golden retriever.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
golden retriever.
My
Very
gay
nice.
best friend who normally spends Valentine's Day with me was interstate.
oh.
So we had a solo Valentine's. And do you know what? This is the one thing. I had the best time.
Yeah.
Normally, you know, in my previous times, I'd be like, oh, I'm lonely on Valentine's Day. And I was like, girl, embrace the single nature of yourself.
100%.
Love it.
Totally.
Love my own space.
Especially with the doggo. Oh,
Yeah.
love
No,
doggos.
don't need
I
it.
want, like,
Also,
10
even if I
doggos.
was in a relationship, Valentine's Day is overrated. Do you agree?
You one of those? So I'm a big Valentine's Day lover. I do. I love it. I love it.
Look, it's an excuse to
romantic.
celebrate.
I think it's one of those things. If you're in a space, for me, my advice has always been, as the guy, it's always nice to surprise your partner. Even so, like, I'll put it to you this way, right? You don't like Valentine's Day, but if a nice thing was planned for you that you would
Absolutely.
like intuitively, like they know you and all this sort of shit, you're not going to be like, oh, let's just do nothing. Like,
Of course.
Do you know
I
what I mean?
agree. 100%. If someone
super
spoiled me
sweet,
on
yeah.
Valentine's Day, I would be all for it.
I think it's that one chance where like every dude gets a run up, like the perfect run up to be like, I can do X, Y, Z of whatever she loves. We can just have that done. Like I had mates that they just got Maccas and just went to a park.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything, right? But that's what she loves,
Okay.
right? And then it was like a home run because she didn't think he was going to do anything, and then bang, you can get the extra points for free. Like why wouldn't you do that? And plus, you obviously want to make your partner feel great.
Acts of kindness.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was actually today was Random Act of Kindness
Kindness
Day.
Day. Yep.
Which
Oh,
is
there you
ironic
go.
because then it's premeditated because it's the day of random acts of kindness.
So it's not random.
That's right. IT Nerd ruining days for everyone. But all right, question 2.
Not random.
Sum up your dating / love life in 4 words.
Yes,
What's dating?
you can do dating and love life if
What's
you like.
dating life? Okay. Let me think about this. So, non-existent,
No.
confusing, interesting, and
We're just gonna go 5.
oh, did I do 4?
You did 4.
Oh, perfect.
Go 5. No, go 5.
Casual.
Okay, beautiful. I like it. All right, so we can break this up into where the fuck is Lil? She's off sick today.
Hey, what do you mean?
Who is that?
Axeman, the Max Man. Is
The axe murderer.
Okay, so what are your top green flags first? Or would you prefer red flags? Is that easier for you to
Ooh.
rattle off right out of the gates?
Red.
Red
Yeah,
flags?
red's always
Go
easier.
Okay,
red.
red
Hard
flags.
nose.
Hard nose. If you negatively talk about your ex, I feel like that's a red flag.
Totally.
Okay,
Totally.
so I'm fucked.
Complete psycho.
Yeah.
You probably made her the psycho.
James is triggered. James is triggered right now, guys.
Girls turn psycho because they
That's
are
a different
probably put in that position. Let me say, look.
it
Some
is.
girls I will actually.
Yeah.
Can-
I
I
know
was gonna
crazy
counter that
bitches.
with
There
what
are
if-
definitely there are some crazy girls out there, and I would say I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Most
But-
do.
Yeah, that's right. No, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. No, but honestly, I think, if you're a guy who's bad mouthing your ex girlfriend or saying that they're crazy or one of those things, it's probably there's probably a reason why she's crazy.
I think that's an important point. There's always like the in between of like both points of view of like a conversation, and it's important to see if there's a lot of that negative talk.
Yep.
There's usually going to be some adjustment back in the other direction,
Yep.
depending on how hard they're talking about them. Except myself, it's fine, it's all good, and it's all legit.
I keep it to myself, and I let those around me do the speaking.
It's true.
But like I
Yeah.
just,
It really was. And I'm like,
Yeah, look, in James's defense, 100%.
oh yeah.
We've
That's
learned
completely different.
chaotic stripper energy is not a good thing.
No, we don't like that.
And there is problems that are strongly associated with that the majority of the time. Yes. Yes.
most of the time.
We're in our normal girl phase at the moment, I think, which is good.
Normal girls.
Yeah.
We're in a non-existent girl phase at the moment.
Okay. That's changed very drastically, very quickly. God damn it.
All right, how many more red flags? So
You can do one more if you like.
okay, I think. Well, if they're bad in bed, it's kind of a red flag, I reckon.
Okay, so here's a good question that I will ask you, right? So if the sex is bad,
Nah, well, yeah, go.
because like the first time's always awkward, right? How many other shots will you give / not give? If it's bad out of the gates, are you done?
Depends on what.
Maybe I'll change my red flag. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
flip that and make that a green flag. If it's good, if they're good in bed, that's
Yeah.
a tick.
Yeah.
We'll flip that.
But see, that can let a lot of
That's still there's a red flag being raised at that point.
That is true.
And it depends on It depends on how or why it's bad.
All right, let's keep it out of that department.
Yeah.
All right, so you've opened up the segue into a whole new conversation,
Hey.
which
You
will
can have a fuck up, and
Yeah.
then if you do it again,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I feel like
So
this
you do,
is
but
how he
I guess
rolls.
because what I've noticed is a lot of
But just
girls are
it's the
very.
chemistry, I reckon. Like,
A lot of girls are.
chemistry. Yeah,
If it's micro penis, is that like a...
I think that's
Well,
done.
I
it's kind of a red flag.
Yeah, I think that's done.
in my
Well,
experience.
that's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
not a red- there's
Like
no
you can't really
redeeming-
fix it too
Yeah,
much.
exactly. There's no redeeming.
Like I don't get me wrong. I think like you can know how to use it, but it's still going to feel not the same.
Correct.
Micro it is.
Depends on how important
I was gonna
sex
say.
is. Like, if you could just, if you were so
And
in
this
love
is
with
that's an
someone-
individual question
Yeah.
That is.
to each person. Depends
Yeah.
on what they.
But so if you have a bad first kind of route with the person, is it recoverable? Will you go
I think
again
it is.
to
I
see
think
if the vibe?
look, at the end of the day, I will preface that personality will definitely win for me. Like you could be the most attractive male in the room.
Yeah.
You could be the most amazing person in bed, but if you are a shit person, if you're a shit person, if you're a typical quote unquote fuckboy, then that's not going to matter to me. Your personality will always take over.
Totally.
Which again, I think a green flag or a green tick for me would be a guy who can show vulnerability, a guy who can actually open up and share their feelings and
At the right time.
At the right time, yeah. Don't be an over. No, but like honestly, I actually really appreciate that. I think a guy that can actually
Be
tell someone
vulnerable.
how they feel and be vulnerable is a good thing.
It's key to
Totally.
communication.
Communication, yeah, and that's
And I think it's that past your mid-20s tick where you're like,
you realise these
you need to be
things.
able to talk so shit's not completely fucked and we can actually have conversations when there's problems.
Yeah, not
I think
bottling
that's one
things
of our
up.
strongest points. No
I
matter
think
like
you're-
what happens.
Yeah, you're a really good communicator. You're
'Cause
way better than me.
No, you're very good.
I'm learning.
You're fucking amazing. Don't be stupid. It's perfectly fine.
That's a green flag for me.
Yeah, I think so.
Good communication, absolutely.
And we've done the red. It was like a green red. Give me one more red.
One more red.
Yeah.
I think if they have like a poor relationship with their family and
Yes.
their
She
parents,
says that as well.
like you want a guy, if you're going to get married, if you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want them to have a good relationship with their parents and their
or
family.
just some family,
Yeah. Like obviously situations are going to be different.
a person.
No. Well, obviously not everybody has
Correct.
parents,
Correct,
right?
correct,
But
correct.
Yeah.
if they have that support network, if they have someone that they really passionately care and love for, that's a green. You don't want someone who doesn't have that. I don't think, because then they don't really know how to love. You know.
Totally.
That's a really good point.
Totally.
I never thought of it because you used to say that heaps, and I never fully understood what you were talking about. Like I just thought, like maybe the interaction with my parents is kind of an indicative thing of me.
Well, it's how you would
But it's
talk
right.
to
It just
relate to
shows
people.
it shows the way they can love
It
someone.
also shows their
Really?
sensitive
I didn't know I was
side.
being screened,
Yeah.
James. That's crazy. I love it.
no.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
No, it shows that it shows their sensitive side because from what I've observed as well, I think when a guy does really, really care for their family, you hear about it, you see about it. Like
Yeah.
they will say, "Oh, I'm going to my parents for dinner," and I'm like, "That's really nice. Like I like that."
Yeah.
So if a guy's like, "I hate my parents," or "I hate my sister," or this or that, it's like, well,
Okay.
why? Why is that the case?
So, code guys, just don't say anything and just move forward.
like, yeah, I love
if you
them
have
all.
issues with
I
anyone,
love
it
them
doesn't
all.
matter. It never happened.
I listened to the Steph episode. We were doing the eclipse of the Steph episode, and she said the
Yeah.
same thing in Green Flag. She was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, big green flag is if," and she said relationship with the mother, and I was like,
That's yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit specific, like just a,
Look,
a
it's-
person.
yeah.
But I
It
was
doesn't
like,
have to
it's
be-
so specific. Yeah, but what we're saying here is that you want to see that there's someone who they're obliged to be like a non-choice family
Yeah,
member
yeah.
Yeah.
with whom they have a good relationship.
Connection. Yeah.
Yeah, that can show that they're gonna
Yeah.
go on.
But I guess, see, for because if you worry about yourself in that respect, I think the bond between you and your brother is like fucking awesome. So if I was a chick, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
correct, yeah.
That one
so I think
specific
that would be,
person.
yeah.
Little
Because I can see
bit,
James being like, fuck.
That's not fair.
You'd be like, literally everyone but my mum's fine, guys. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah,
You can take the next one to hijack that question on you as well.
we went and saw Chappelle on weekend, and we had a fucking great dance and a good laugh.
You danced.
Me and my mum got up, and he's like, "Put your hands up."
Yeah, that was super weird when they get a bunch of white
cool.
people. They played R&B to dance, like the intermission to it.
We were in the fucking front row, so it was like
Yeah.
a test.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then it was this like,
And your mum starts twerking, and you're like, what?
there was this black lady in a like a a sequin sort of like thing, and it was like flowy and stuff. And she was getting right into it. She was in her zone, and so I sort of saw her going for it. And I'm like, yeah, we got to fucking represent. So
cut up the
I started doing that, and I'm going into it. I'm like, hey, and it was like me and I'm trying to put your hands up. Each other for a bit there.
I like it.
So, yeah, it was
That's
good.
so
It's
cool.
adorable.
Dance
So
off.
you do have a good relationship with your mother.
I
That's
think I
cool.
expected,
Yeah.
How did I get here?
She had a good relationship with mum, but
That's cool.
But back to Kayla, because
What a
we're
memory.
straying away. Straying away.
She's getting antsy. The camera's
So
up there.
what's your longest and your shortest relationship?
Longest
so
first.
when longest?
Yeah.
6 years.
Wow.
Well done.
Damn.
I was gonna say I actually was a relationship girl.
Yeah, I
So,
think most people are.
I
to
think
be fair.
So from like 16 to 22.
So early.
Formative
Holy
years.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I could have been
formative.
married with
Yeah.
a child by now. If
No,
I
no, no,
stayed
that's-
there.
I think-
terrifying is that?
I got out of it. And the thing is, that was a great relationship. Like, this
Yes.
guy treated me like a queen.
Yeah.
I was like one of the luckiest girls. Everyone was like, why would you leave? And I just grew out of love.
Well, because
You grow up
it's
and
your
you grow
first.
out.
It's your first relationship.
Yeah, and then you have all these like,
Yeah.
what if you get attention from other people? You're like,
Yeah.
ooh. But it wasn't even about that for me. It was just we were just two different
grew apart.
two different wavelengths. Like just, and he's the one kind of guy that I'm like, I actually want all the best for you. Like you deserve
Yeah.
someone. You
Of
deserve
course.
someone who
100%.
is going to treat you right. And he did end up getting another girlfriend, and I'm sure he's very happy. And I actually
Yeah.
want that for him. But he was very homebody. He was very stuck in his ways. And a key drive, like a green flag for me, ambition, career driven, 100%. Like if you are just fixated on what you've got and you're not kind of like, you get a
Gonna
bit
push yourself.
stagnant.
Yeah.
You're not striving to like, you know, try and get
Agree.
ahead or do more. Like he didn't want to
Totally.
travel. Like we were young. He didn't want to
Oh, man.
travel. He didn't want to, like he was just boring.
Yeah, nah.
Boring. I got bored. I was like,
Just
do
wanted to
I?
have a
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
picket
do I
fence.
really want to like? Is this my life? Like,
No,
no.
that's terrifying.
And look, I'm surprised you haven't brought up, which is really endearing, the fact that like it was literally your first relationship. Like we're more, I guess we're more liberal with our cars. Like you have way more cars than you do like proper serious relationships.
Well, just
Well,
No, that's what I mean though, is like you should definitely take that with a grain of salt. You're like, it was your
So
first
many
relationship.
learnings. So
At
many
22,
learnings.
man, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing until at least 27. You know what I mean?
the funny thing is back then all my friends were single and living their best life then, and I feel like it's like flipped now.
yeah.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
my friends are now all in long-term relationships, and now
Yeah.
I'm like, hey.
Like, woo!
yeah.
But
They are starting to have kids yet?
no, not really.
It'll be coming.
A couple,
It'll be coming.
Yeah, that's-
but not
That's
too
going to be a
many.
fun ride.
My main
on.
friendship circle, no kids.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
kids. Yeah. But the shortest, in terms of
Yes.
the shortest, like, because if you classify like situationships and like
I think
The-
I do classify
the
those
high
as
school
one that
relationships
mattered,
and
one
stuff,
that mattered to you?
two and a half, 3 years.
That's
That was my
huge.
last relationship.
Pretty good. Yeah.
And that was 3 years ago.
Man, if I see someone 3 times, I'm like, we were dating. You were my boyfriend.
No, I agree. So the clinical definition.
Okay, well, I've had a lot of boyfriends in that case. Or do you got no? There's a term for it. We call it it's a situationship.
Yes.
It means you're not actually together exclusively, but they are basically love bombing you like you are in a relationship, but
Yeah.
they don't want the label attached. That is
Yes.
the definition of a situationship,
Okay.
and that is my
New host of
friends-
Relevant Platitudes.
that is the definition of me.
That's 100%. That's I
Love
couldn't put it
bombing.
more eloquent. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fantastic.
I didn't know that love bombing was part of a situationship. I
think
thought
that's the-
situation
No,
was
that is
more just
exactly what love
convenience.
bombing. That is literally what love
Yeah.
bombing is. Love bombing is when someone comes
Yeah,
in
no.
hard.
But then I thought situationship was like, oh, it's just we're only doing it because it's convenient right now because of the like COVID lockdown. Or
I feel like any
proximity
situationship
or-
is going to get to the point where someone gets feelings.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Because it would involve, if you think about it, like you need that that almost fake comfort feeling to make it a situationship.
But-
So that's the love bombing part of it.
Right.
Because you're like, you wouldn't feel like you're doing a thing unless that overexertion of what it is
Yeah.
is pushed forward.
Well, that's
so I didn't think about it like that either.
Yeah.
And I'm
Why
like,
not-
fuck, that's 100% what happens.
I'm going to be on one side of it.
Because think about it.
You're like, fine, I'll take whatever. This is fine. This is okay. This is. We'll see what happens. Okay, and then you're like, fuck, I'm dating this person.
Yeah. The most common phrase you'll ever hear.
See,
So
The
it's
most
like you don't
common
really
phrase.
consent to it getting to the point
yeah,
where there
but it
should
felt
be a
great, so
label.
you're doing it. Like it's fine. It's like surprise anal. Like sometimes it's okay, and you're like, it's whatever.
But like, okay, I didn't think of it like that. So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't think we're dating, but he's just like doing something.
But I also think you know if you're sleeping with someone that is strictly just that. Like you know if it's very casual versus like I know when I go on a date with somebody, if I'm going to like I will look at them and go, yep, that's just that. That's just physical.
Yeah.
That's nothing attached.
We call it the sport fuck on the podcast.
Sport
The sport
fuck.
fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can pick it from a mile away.
Yeah.
James, like I've never heard that before. I know. It's on the podcast.
Is that
now.
what we classify as the fuckboy?
Yeah, like a sport fuck would be like it's just like we're just gonna have sex.
But
'cause
then
we're
as
gonna
you're
have
talking,
sex.
you're like, you're really dumb.
It's
I don't,
Yes.
But he's like hot.
so
and you're like,
ironically
okay.
enough for guys it happens in reverse. Because after you have sex, you're like, oh, there's no verbal or emotional connection here. They're like because you can have like
Yeah,
it's
please
different.
explain. Please
So
explain the male
you get-
concept of
yeah.
this.
So when there's that initial, it's the worst. You feel like a piece of shit.
Go.
you
No,
get that-
explain. I love this.
For about half a second.
Yeah, you get that initial, it's almost like the pheromones, like that uptake of like she's amazing, like she's so beautiful, like
As in
everything she's
before-
saying is
before-
awesome. Yeah, this is leading
Pre-nut.
up to sex. Like, yeah, exactly, pre-nut. I didn't want to say it. That's exactly the
I'll
way.
say it.
I'm glad the lady said it first. And then you guys will have sex, and it's like it's happened
Pre-nut.
far too often where you're like, you'll go to have a conversation literally after you've had sex, and then you'll be like, oh, there's nothing there. Like, there is no, like, it's almost like once all the test is drained from your body, you're like,
Once you've got
there's
what you've
nothing
got,
left
like,
but
there's
reality.
no clarity.
So it's not even what you've got. You've just overlooked a bunch of it because there's so much of a
This
drive
testosterone being like,
to
This
sleep
is true
with this
because you're
person.
tunnel visioned. You're just thinking
Yeah.
of that
And you
moment.
feel like the biggest
Breathing.
cunt. Like, but then
also
you
you-
Is
can't.
this so,
like,
are you trying to say that guys don't actually mean to just go, oh yes, I'm just
no,
not.
so it's
into
not.
it
It's not that there's any inclination of it being like premeditated or not. Like, obviously, there would be cases where that is it, but the majority of the situation post nut clarity. Exactly, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hashi.
I did say it before,
It's
but
just it's
Hashi
such a
can
strong
take
driving
that.
force
Yeah.
when you meet someone that you overlook so many fucking obvious issues
The red
with a
flags,
person.
you don't see them.
Well, it wouldn't even be a red flag. Like, I wouldn't
It's
say
cloudy
like,
because you just want to.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, you do. Like, and it's
I mean, you guys do.
you wouldn't even say that like it would be a red flag. You just find that like you're just not on the same
you just
wavelengths.
I actually understand. Sometimes I do feel like I have the.
Post nut clarity.
No. So I was going to say sometimes I feel like I think more like a male than I
Okay.
do a female. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
have the male brain sometimes.
You could do.
It's a
I
good
think
thing.
you've
I think
got-
we have
yeah.
masculine energy.
You do.
Masculine energy.
Yeah. You guys have
Yeah.
BDE for sure. Yeah.
Big dick energy.
Yeah, for sure.
I am the big dick energy.
Yes. I think you do because you can sort of get a read. You know.
Yeah, very good at reading people.
Yeah.
I think early on, which is good.
Good.
It's a great
Yeah.
feeling coming to that realization of getting up, and because it's not that you just like I'm just gonna get a root out of this, but yeah, you go through the process and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm interested, whatever,
Mm.
and then
You get the ick. It's the ick.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
even it's like you wake up and you're like, okay, that's done, and you get the clarity, and then it's like I guess realizing it's like feeling like you're in prison, but there's then finding out
You
there's no walls.
Yes.
Because then you're like, oh sweet.
It's
You're
even
like, oh,
worse.
I
Like,
need
what the
to
fuck
leave.
happens now?
I need to leave.
Oh, I guess I'm like, go. And then you're like, sweet. And you're like, all right, I'll just get my stuff and go.
Yeah, yeah,
awkward.
yeah.
Pretty
So
someone-
awkward.
She's like, yeah, cool, no worries. Pulls out like a hair thing and like throws it at the wall. And you're like, oh shit, she doesn't even look like. And then you're like, oh, maybe we get your number or something. And she's like, no, I think we're pretty much done here.
Whoa.
I'm like, oh, well, just in case I like left something here or something. She's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I think we got to each other on Facebook. It wasn't that bad. But I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just get this
yeah. No, I
feeling,
get what
you're
you're
like,
saying.
oh my god, she's whining. It's not even like, I'm
You're
gonna
like-
be polite here. And
Yeah, yeah. You're
nah,
like,
dude,
you're like,
You've
I'm
just
just trying to
been-
not make this awkward.
You have just been.
I know a girl who
Like,
did that.
that's
I
what it
used to
is.
know a chick who did that so savagely. She'd be like, they'd literally finish, and she'd be like, "Do you want to wait for your Uber out the front, or get out?" And then she'd just be like, "Yeah, you can just. It's just around the corner. Bang.
Yeah.
Just like shut the door." And
Jesus.
just, like,
That's what it was
fuck
like.
off. Like
Oh
she was
my
like a
God.
dude. She had such a dude energy. She was like, "I'll get you an Uber if you want. It's already on the way." Get the fuck
But just for the saving grace, it can work in
Full on.
reverse.
Do you know what you do? You just say like you go into the gym, you booked in for a gym class, and then you just.
You used to say, what did you used to say to those slugs?
I've got a gym class.
I
Sorry.
had
Get up really
myriad.
early in the morning.
And then you can be
So-
like,
so
oh,
that
And then you like put you put your active
No.
wear on, and you get in the car and you go, and then. But generally, I'll actually go.
So you can do it to me.
Or if it's good, you can just be like, yeah, I'll cancel the class. It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nooch told me that. He's like, always have something to do.
Have something to do, so they have
See?
to
Yeah,
leave. Yeah.
No, and you were right. Definitely, there was. Look, I had a few sliding reasons,
Obviously.
but you have to throw it in early enough. But what I was trying to say before
no
was it
debate.
can work in reverse. You can sleep with someone and then fall more in love with them, or it can like fully spark the dick drunk or the pussy paralysis,
drunk.
as we call it for men. And but you do, because I think after we slept together the first time, like everything just got more real. I think there was like that.
Well, you
it's
want it
almost
to
like
be-
that veil's lifted. You're like, okay, cool, it's fine. I get to see you as
She's not
you.
retarded.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's almost like you get to engage once that awkwardness is out of the way. You kind of have like it's like the brass tacks. Like this is the real us now, because all the awkwardness of like the first date,
yeah.
and then like the let's all be perfect before we see each other naked sort of shit's gone, and then you can just be like, so this is me. You've seen all of it now. Like, did you like it? And then it's like, oh, we both, it was good, and then you can kind of start to.
It's actually like
know?
definitely guys are definitely more vulnerable than they make out.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
and that's
Especially right after you bust. That is the most
what I-
vulnerable a guy will ever
you will
be.
be so
Why?
vulnerable. But it's saying like even you actually do have your guys have feelings.
Yeah.
They just like to suppress them.
Yeah. And
And-
especially if you date a lot of Aussie guys, it'll be very suppressed. Very suppressed.
until
Yeah.
until they actually find someone they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
There's that Louis C.K. joke. There's nothing more. Sorry, it's a Dave Chappelle joke about Louis C.K. There's nothing more unthreatening than a guy that's just come on his stomach. Because all these people were complaining that he used to pull his dick.
Yeah.
And then Chappelle said, "How is that terrifying?" He's like, "Can you think about it? Like a guy that's literally just busted on his stomach, and he's like."
Yeah, it's his way.
Like, what do you do? There's nothing threatening about that.
That sexual assault that they walked in and just
yeah.
See, thank you,
And
James.
it's like he looks like an idiot. Like,
Yeah.
that's not threatening.
Some
at
fat
all.
redheaded guy that's just like.
Oh dear.
Anyway, next question.
Moving on.
Yes. Is this me? I'll take it. What advice do you often end up giving to your friends the most? So it doesn't have to be about dating because they're all in relationships. Do they come to you for like?
I get a lot of. Yeah.
Oh, are you that friend? You're
I'm
the
the friend.
you're the relationship advice friend.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because I tell you how it is. I tell you what you need
Yeah.
to hear and not what you want to hear.
Uh-huh.
But something I do often say is know your worth and add tax.
Oh shit!
10%.
Explain.
Know your
Explain.
worth. So I think that a lot of people lack that level of self-worth, and they let people walk all over them, and they constantly take people back. They constantly are lured back into toxicity. And I think that in order for you to be with someone that you deserve, you need to love yourself. You need to have that high level of self-worth for yourself. So therefore,
Really
know
preach.
your worth and add tax. Don't take shit. But another common thing that I will always say is trust your gut.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Trust your
You
gut.
ignore it so much.
Like your intuition is to a T spot on. I cannot stress that enough. Like
Yep.
from my experience, from my friends' experience that I've spoken to with their own situations, like you are, especially if there's a situation of cheating or something or suspicion,
Yep.
and you've got that gut feeling and you're like, there's
I'm a
something
big fan
weird,
of
there's
that.
something off,
Yep.
you're fucking right.
If you feel,
you are absolutely right.
if you feel uncomfortable or if you feel weird with a certain
If you get a sick
situation,
feeling in your stomach and that
Yeah.
something's not right, it's not right.
it's okay to just walk away from that at
Yeah,
that point.
your
I
gut
agree.
instinct. So that is a piece of advice that I will constantly say to my friends is listen to your gut. Your intuition is always
Totally.
right.
Two great pieces of advice.
I agree.
Pertinent out.
You're up, buddy.
Preach.
Tell us a bit about one of the best dates you've been on and why you consider it to be one
The
of your
best.
dates, the best or one of your best dates.
So I had to think about this question, and
You're excited about this one.
I had to think about this because I really. The funny thing is, I had to think about it, and do you know what this makes me realize? I have never been on a good date that has blown me for six. Like I have never been taken on a date
Oh.
that has been that amazing that it's just blown me away. Which, do you know what that
Yeah.
brings me to?
Your
Guys?
taste in men is shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly. Like, I'm clearly dating the wrong males, but they just lack effort. They don't put in the effort. But what I will say is one day I'll explain one. So I think that if a lot of forward planning, the dates that have gone well are the dates that have been a little bit of effort has been put in. They have made the plans. They have.
So do you
picked
go on
a
dates
venue.
where guys will just be like, we'll just do whatever?
So, yeah, or like it. Do you
Oh
know?
my God.
A lot of dates will just be like a dinner, or
Yeah, generic
Do you know
shit.
what I mean? Like
I do.
generic stuff, or
Yeah.
like let's get a walk and go. Because a lot of first dates, you don't want to be like you don't want to go in
Locked
hard
in.
on a first date,
No,
right?
no.
And so like exactly, a lot of the dates I go on is like a casual drink, or a walk and a coffee, or a dinner
yeah.
date, or. That's basically it, to be fair.
Yes, yeah.
But then I have gone on a few dates before that have been really good. And what's been great about them is that I guess the emotional intelligence of actually having a stimulating and deep conversation with people that's just beyond surface level. And they're the
Yeah.
people that I'm attracted to. And it doesn't need to be. You don't need to take me on a bloody, I don't know, a helicopter.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
need to
yeah.
You don't need to take me anywhere fancy.
You just need
But
effort
you
and
need
engagement.
I need to be engaged with your
Yeah.
conversation. You need to have a little bit of emotional intelligence, and we need to have something to talk about. Like, yeah, you need to be ambitious. Like, you need to be able to hold a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys have you both literally been on conversations that have been like just struggling for
I will tell
content?
you,
Because as an ex-fat kid, it's like
Totally.
I'm always throwing like haymakers, and it's like I'm just like fuck. I'm gonna have to carry this conversation all night,
See,
bro.
I feel like
Like-
that's me. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
me
someone
too.
who's very easily. I can talk to somebody very easily, and if you can't sustain a conversation with me, like if it's difficult for
That's
me
true.
to sustain a
That you-
conversation, like
You have
I
to
can talk to
be
them all.
fairly
I can
fucking
talk
retarded
to
to
you.
struggle.
Like
yeah,
if you
yeah.
can't maintain a conversation with me, you're not the person.
Are you
for
dating
me.
vegetables? They just rock on.
No, because the guys that I do date have that emotional intelligence. They just
Good. Okay, yeah.
They just haven't taken me on like a fancy date or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have gone on one where it was kind of like went to a comedy show. Like he actually put in a bit of effort. So he had to tee up somewhere to go for a drink before, then the comedy show, then
Yeah.
a dinner,
Yes.
and then like it was a great day. It was
Yeah.
really good. But then there's other, and you know, the typical like holy moly or, you know, like
Yeah.
those kind of dates.
Just the corny shit that allows you to speak. Is the
Yeah,
biggest
and
one.
like bowling and doing like fun
love
activities
bowling,
or
don't we,
whatever.
Ames? We love bowling. We love bowling.
We do
We
now.
love bowling.
But yeah, I think that's a bit. I don't know. I feel like that question was hard for me to think of because
That's terrifying.
It puts into perspective that just
There's no
put
effort.
in a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
your first date should be you should be putting in effort for that. Like it's your first impression. It's your first
memorable.
impression. Like if it
Yeah.
sucks, I'm not going to go on a second date with you.
Look,
I'm
like-
not going to waste my time.
It is that thing, I guess. You do when you fall into certain. This is going to sound really weird, but so certain brackets of dude. There's certain levels of effort that they'll put in back. So you want to find it's kind of the edge cases in each bracket of the dude that is still willing to put effort in to have a good night. Because you are right. Now that I think about it, I have dialed a lot of dates in the past where there's like literally no effort. You're like, yeah, cool, whatever. We'll just do something and I'll figure it out on the day. And as soon as there's no effort put into it, there's no structure. It's like it's almost like the
You're
person
walking
can
into it like
feel
you don't care.
You don't. Yes, they can feel you don't care. And yeah, look. I mean,
Look,
so what was our first date? Was
self-fulfilling
Roasting Warehouse, and then
What was it?
went to the Roasting Warehouse around the corner.
Cafe.
Okay.
It's a dope cafe, by the way.
yeah, no, I've
It's
been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when it first opened, it
I
was like
actually
the
have been
cutest
there.
date spot. Like
Yeah,
it was really
yeah.
good. It's a
He
bit.
took lots of girls there. That's what that means. It's like it was really cute.
Do you know what? I actually, you know how you've got
fine.
your go-to places?
Yeah.
And do you ever
You
think
do.
you know
How
what
does that go? The
if you
waiters
go
are
on a
like,
date
"Let's him
somewhere
again."
and you're like, I'm going to go back there. And then it
Yeah.
just ends up
that-
being your first date spot.
Is that a soft flex if the wait staff know you? Like, is that cute or is
No.
that weird?
They're like,
they
here's Pete
just
again,
know what kind
of
another
person you
good-looking
are.
girl.
No,
We're
but I
the
mean,
same-
I mean to you guys. Like, if you go with a dude and then you've seen him.
Oh, look, to
Like-
be fair, it's not that often.
engage with the wait staff because you're always there with other girls.
No, but you wouldn't. Would you assume it's because I'm there with other girls or because
No,
they
I
have good
wouldn't actually.
coffee?
Yeah,
And I literally go there every Saturday morning. Like,
Yeah,
is that like a good thing or a?
Yeah, I like that. It shows that you're friendly and
Okay.
respectful to wait staff, which I hate when people power trip waiters and stuff. Like,
Okay.
shut up,
It's all
asshole.
the way stuff looks like.
Here's this asshole.
I mean,
It's like better than last week, bruh.
funny story
Exactly.
is.
Yeah. Go. What you
I
had a
was
funny
going to say,
story?
funny
Yeah,
story is
don't
you've been,
talk. Yeah.
you've been like I was out hanging out with my friends. We were just out for drinks and dinner, and one of the guys that I had previously dated rocks up on a date. But the funny thing was, he was literally messaging me like a few days earlier, and then he's rocked up on this
look,
date.
yeah.
But it was funny because I was with my friends, so he was the one that got weird. I didn't get weird. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, 'cause you had
well,
the-
this
you
makes
had
you
the-
look
you
funny,
had the crew.
not me.
Yeah.
And then so it was pretty funny, but then he actually left the venue because he felt that uncomfortable.
Oh man,
I 100% would eject. Like you can't you either.
He ran. He left. Yeah.
You'd have to be a
It's
stone
pretty
cold serial killer to not react.
Yeah.
Like
To be
because
like,
when
what
you're
am I-
dating, you're dating, right?
Yeah.
And then that would be, honest to God, my worst
Worst
fucking nightmare. Like what? I would probably have. I wouldn't have even walked in and be like, "Nah, this place is shit. Let's just leave.
Yeah,
There's no
looks
good."
too busy.
It's the wrong place. I've just booked the wrong joint. Don't worry about it. We'll go somewhere else.
That's so funny.
Because you couldn't recover. Was it all girls?
That I was with.
Yeah.
And my gay friend. Matt.
Okay, that is a guy's worst nightmare times 10. Because it's like you literally just gonna hang shit on him the entire time. Did that happen? Yes or no?
Yeah, but the funny thing was, one of my girlfriends is actually friends with him, so it was a bit.
shit.
It was
It
yeah.
was
Anyway,
intertwined.
so he
Yeah,
ended
yeah.
up telling the chick, and then he left.
Okay, you know
Would
what?
have taken you to that same day.
I just
You would have said
laughed.
yes.
Yeah, that was. You got a preview of what was gonna happen.
It's fine. There's a reason. We move on.
All right. Is this me or you, James, on this one?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Who would you say are big inspirations and influences in reference to your work and or your social life?
Okay, in terms of in the fitness industry.
Oh, so yeah, I think I queued this one up for you. Yeah, for
Yeah,
your
for
fitness,
fitness
stuff.
industry.
Yeah.
So somebody that I really aspire to, and I think is a huge influence.
Yes.
I really love Sherelle Grant. I think that she does an amazing job with
Is that the Biggest Loser lady?
No.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
She's like a women's health
Okay.
enthusiast. So she's created the women's health movement. She's pretty much breaking all stigmas and cutting the BS out there in the fitness industry, but really promoting and empowering women's health, which is exactly what I do. And
Fucking dope.
I think she just always puts forward a really great message, and she's really relatable.
What was her name again? Sherelle?
Sherelle Grant.
That's
Yeah.
my fault. I should
Shout out
have
to you,
had this
Sherelle.
at the front. This should have been at the start, not in the middle, because it cuts the
That's
the
great.
pace. So look, we've gone off topic quite a bit, so that's fine. 10. So in what ways have you handled rejection in the past? Has Kayla been hardcore rejected?
Oh yeah.
Really? Okay.
What? Yeah.
I always love
Why?
hearing, because when I
When?
found out that it happens to everyone, it blew my mind. I didn't know this.
Everyone's been rejected.
No, but see,
You just get better at
as
dealing
a fat
with
kid,
it.
you assume that it's just you. Like it's always the worst thing in the world is just it's happening to me and that's it. But,
No.
all right, so
Well, I'll give you. I feel like when it comes to an initial encounter, I'm probably not rejected. But if it comes to emotionally investing, rejected.
that's almost
I don't know if
worse.
that counts though.
Yeah.
I think that's just him realizing that he's just not up
But-
for a relationship. It's not you.
The answer to the question is old me 5 years ago, before I'd done my own work on myself, would retaliate and be that girl that sends a message and fires up
Support.
and asks questions and replies and over the last
Guys do it too.
Over
It
the last,
happens.
I would say over the last 5 years. How long have I been seeing? Over the last 3 years, I would say I deal with rejection really well. I think I'd flip it and say
imagine you getting rejected.
I was gonna say I flip it and say, well, it's a you problem. I don't know. I feel like I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I bring to the
Totally.
table is good. Like I have my shit together. If you don't want
Fucking
this, like
oath.
it's you that doesn't have your shit together, and
Preach,
Do you- so
dude.
do you
you're
want
not the
to,
right
like-
person
You are
for
the
me.
table.
Like, go find less. Go find less.
Fucking oath. That's
Not
attitude.
me, if you-
It's not me. It's you.
Totally.
I mean, it's probably definitely me. But like,
No. So do you want the
Umbrella.
external kind of vibe on what it possibly could be?
go.
I think going into maybe the spaces that you are dating, you might be severely higher EQ, so your
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, compared to the
True.
guys that you're dating.
So I am more emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, like significantly more emotionally intelligent.
Totally.
So you're ending up in these situations where you're like, I feel like everything should be working. It feels like it should be fine. But you're effectively dating retards, and that's a problem. And it's like, look, honestly, but
I'm getting better. I think I'm leveling up. This is why we're not dating at the moment.
It's that annoying part where you need to learn.
Leveling up. Back to zero.
I am a monk now.
You do no, but like that's the thing is you just need to be in the space where you're waiting for that right moment.
If you're looking for it, it's not going to come to you, is it?
Agreed. Because when we were talking, I didn't think I didn't think she was even interested when we first started talking. To be fair. I just realised everyone on the podcast, this bruise on my arm is a blood bruise from it.
You have been
it's fine.
Assaulted.
Heroin.
Yes. So to go back to that, I think once you're able to find those people that are on that EQ level, you'll find it kind of start to smooth out a bit.
Oh yeah. For sure.
It's finding the balance. Because I think I might have judged Amy a bit when we've previously worked together. But then as soon as we sat down, like I was just like, holy shit.
I didn't know this.
No, but it's like...
This is news to me.
No, because you were like the super hot girl that did like, bodybuilding and all that sort of shit.
Not like that.
I didn't expect to have an actual like deep conversation with you at Roasting Warehouse on the first date.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like that was incredibly engaging straight away.
Yeah, true. We had a little FaceTime date, remember?
We did. Yeah. But that's like, you can never know until you're sitting with the person.
Totally.
Like the full depth of them. Right?
Yeah, totally.
And it's just that thing of finding kind of those spaces where those people are going to be. I guess I'll just be like, where are they coming from, Kayla? Where are they coming from?
Oh, it's hard in this day and age.
Dating apps are fucked because you're exposed to so many people you wouldn't normally meet.
This is the thing. Yeah, there's too much variety. Yeah. Like, you can swipe endlessly for days.
You can.
And ends up with all these pointless chats on your profile. And the people that you actually go on the date with, if it's a bit shit, you're like, oh, well, why do I bother? You know, like, and then you get caught up in that. And I think that's what earlier when I was talking about the fluctuations of dating, you know, you've got your peaks, your troughs, you've got your you've got your months where you're going on multiple dates. And
months, boys, all right.
We can talk about this because everybody does it. Like,
totally.
I think you're naive to think that the person you're going on a date with hasn't gone on multiple dates before you.
Correct.
And that's just what dating is in this day and age, right?
Yeah.
Like you are trying to find somebody that you connect with. So you're going on multiple dates, and if it doesn't work out, you don't feel like you owe it to them. So you just go, all right, see ya, bye. On to the next. But you having that mentality, they also have that mentality, and that's why things don't prolong. Like that's why they kind of end quickly, I think.
I think it's important for you to know what you want, and it does sound like you know what you want, right? So I wouldn't worry about like a passing ship in the night kind of thing where you're like, oh, that could have been amazing.
Oh,
because you'll get that inclination. And if the person doesn't get it back,
when
then you know they're not on the same level. And it's just like, it's a bullet dodged because
exactly. And again, it's just nipping it in the bud early.
And I prefer
don't waste my time.
I don't want to waste my time in those sorts of situations. I'd rather it just be casual sex or just hanging out or
and I
just
think
whatever.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. It's better to be in that. Well, look, this is my opinion. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt. It's better to be in that space where things are what you know, and on your terms, than in this grey space.
Oh, exactly. You want it on your terms, not theirs.
Well, look, no,
lesson learned.
It'll become a mutual space if it's right.
Well, that's exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But you need to have your own terms.
But I think as well, like it's not like I've never been in a long-term relationship. Like it's not like I've never been in a good relationship. Yeah. I know what a good relationship is.
Totally.
And I know.
But
what
don't use that. You don't use
the
the first one as
no,
like
you don't.
your
You learn.
There's your baby one.
Yeah, but then even so, like different situationships, like every person that you date.
It's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience. So I don't think any of it is negative. Like even the most toxic relationships, like the 2-3 year relationship I was in, that was toxic as fuck. That was horrible. Yeah. But
care to elaborate? No, I'm kidding. You don't have to elaborate at all. No, you're fine.
But you know, I walked out of that for the better. And that time of my life when I cried my eyes out for days, I just woke up one day and went, snap out of it. Like you've cried enough over this guy. And from that experience, like this is when this and this happened for me. Like I wouldn't have gone into full-time teaching. I wouldn't have gone into. I wouldn't have started a business if I stayed with this guy. Like there's all these things.
So was that a COVID break, like a COVID breakup?
No, it was before COVID. It was like maybe 6 months before COVID.
Okay, all right.
No, it wasn't actually. It was like 3 months before COVID.
Okay, and that's fine. We didn't know COVID was coming. You're fine. Yeah.
It was the perfect.
Yeah.
Early adopters.
Yeah. She just knew. She knew some shit was coming, and
But
I needed to be locked in a house for 2 years on my own.
Personal growth.
Trust me, that's because my relationship went tits up, but it did. It compressed it into that space, and you were like, I fucking can't stand this person. Like you're like, oh, and it took that. It was weird that it took being stuck together for that long.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
There was so many breakups in COVID.
I couldn't believe how many people
breakups.
were in those spaces where literally just being with a person for a full day for a long time was it.
And it's like, oh, wow, we're not built for this.
And then just think about it. That's what your life is going to be like when you're 70 years old.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're with someone good.
Agreed.
Totally.
I think this will be you, this one.
Have you noticed any terrible trends in dating today?
Yeah. Wait, hang on. Is this trends in general or for me?
Yeah.
Have you
both.
noticed?
Both.
Have you noticed any trends?
Has Kayla noticed any dating
Either
trends?
Ones you've noticed in general, or ones that you've firsthand.
As an overview, I think the general trend is that there's too much variety for people.
Yeah.
There's
What do you
just
Too much variety.
okay. If you're jumping on an app, for example, which to be fair, like that's what most people are doing. Like they're using an app
Yes.
to find somebody.
refuse to use
I mean,
fucking-
we all
I know.
would like
I can't
to.
wait for the day we get to put you on an app.
I'm not fucking. No, I'm serious. After
I know.
that date, after I went on that date with that girl who was on Tinder,
Yeah.
she was
You're
like,
on the wrong app.
No, so he doesn't. He doesn't use any apps at all.
I think she was on. She was on all of the apps. Anyway.
He's like that unvaxxed semen. He's never been on a dating app. Like 100%
And we went and
clean.
And then we're sitting there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, so you've been into your relationship for 6 months and your thing," and she's like, "You'll be on the apps in no time." And I'm like, "I don't think I will." And she's like, "Guaranteed, 6 months from now, I'll see you on the apps." I'm like, "You fucking won't see."
You're like,
You won't see
bitch,
me."
you don't know.
Like,
I'm
yeah.
never gonna do that just because you said that
And then
now.
she's like, "Well, where else are you gonna meet people?" And I'm like, "Well, fucking, where did I meet you?" I'm like, "I didn't."
Nah,
meet you for that."
I agree. I think the best interactions that you have are with the people that you meet organically. Like I am
agree.
all
Yep.
for that.
Of course,
But
totally.
it's rare.
And it just sucks
It
because
is,
from the
yeah.
female perspective, usually, because the dudes will most likely approach. If you're a girl that enjoys organic interactions, you're stuck. The dude's coming to speak to you, and they have like an easy kind of, I'll just use an app. I'll just use an app. I'll just use an app. So no one approaches anyone. And what I say on this podcast every week, the cute girl at the coffee shop, say hello. It might be awkward, it might be weird, but
I know,
especially
don't be
now,
awkward,
now more than ever, you have such an edge because every dude is on an app.
That's what I reckon the terrible trend is that there's
That
no
is-
direct personal, there's no like risk taking because someone sends a flame emoji and goes, "Oh, let's see if she bites back to that." Like there's no actual, no one actually
Yeah, grow a pair. Grow a pair.
Totally.
anything. And,
It's cowardice, isn't it?
and the other thing too with that is that you don't know who the fuck you're dating, and there's so many cases of people, you know, later on find like something happens, they get assaulted or you know whatever else, and
Yep.
then you're like, who the fuck was this person I dated?
But it's also just a quick turnaround with those things, like with the dating apps. I think because there is so much variety, like it's pretty much, oh yeah, it wasn't feeling it. Bye, see ya, next person.
It does, yes.
And there's,
Also, if you had a, you know, if it's your mate's mate or something, and it's like, oh, they.
It's almost like that verification. Oh, really? Because I thought if it was that referral, especially from a girl's perspective, it's almost like
Yeah,
you're vetted, you're not a
Totally.
piece of shit.
He's not a
Yeah,
psychopath.
okay,
no,
cool.
I prefer
Yeah.
that. If it's actually through someone you know, you're like, oh, they're not a serial killer.
Yeah,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for that girl
sure.
who referred me. She was fine. And then she's like, "Oh, you should meet my other Irish friend." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Sweet, if there's anything like you, she's gonna be great."
That was not the case, guys. But see, I never wanted to date people that were socially connected to my friends. Just
if
because
it
I didn't
ends.
want that awkwardness. Yeah, 100%. Because the one time I did, it was a fucking shit show.
And then-
she was a piece of shit, and it was like, I know you like people.
Oh,
no,
red
genuinely.
flag, red flag.
Yeah, genuinely like the most toxic individual I've ever met in my life. I can't say on microphone what it was, but this is why I will never date anyone socially connected to friends again. There's just too much. There is too much layers, and it becomes a lot. if it goes bad. Because like I love my friends. I don't want to.
But then
I don't
also,
ruin
yeah,
my friends.
you lose the relationships and the friendships with the people that you've met.
Yeah.
Through
It
them.
all becomes
take
collateral.
sides.
Good save.
collateral, exactly.
All right. Next question. Is it me?
Yeah.
Dating app of choice.
Oh, it's got to be Hinge.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why? Is it because you get the kind of
Tinder.
opening?
Well, actually, to be fair, I don't think I've ever used Tinder, but from what I've heard,
Tinder was dope in lockdown.
Tinder, I feel like, was just purely
was good.
physical. Purely physical. Like, this
was
is what it
very
is.
good, yeah.
Bumble, I don't know. I actually don't like being the person to
You don't want
start
the
the
power.
conversation.
Okay.
I don't like. I mean, sometimes it's good, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think was Bumble your
Bumble's
weapon of
the
choice?
only one I've ever used ever.
Yeah.
Bumble's where you initiate the
I think
It is where the
I
girls
think
started. Yeah,
earlier
yeah.
days, like maybe a few years ago, I would use that.
Yeah.
But now, whoops, now it's just Hinge. But I'm
Yeah.
also that person that's really bad with it. Like I'll be, when all my friends are like busy with their partners, I'll be like, oh, it's Friday night, I'm at home alone. I'll just
Yeah.
have a quick swipe, and then I have a swipe, start a conversation, don't check it for 2 weeks, 3
Yeah.
weeks, and then I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
you're that
fuck.
chick. That's
That's
fucking
me.
brutal.
She's just busy.
Yeah. No,
I am.
'cause every
like
guy's
Monday
like
to Friday, I
Yeah.
don't check it.
Okay, but like you know what that is on the other end? You're like you send something and you think it's awesome and then there's nothing just by random
That's me.
chance. And then
I'm
you're like,
that girl.
oh, she's just gone off on oh, hey, sorry, I've been busy for like 3 weeks just working and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Guilty.
Hi. Hello.
I need to be better. I need
That's
to be
how it
better.
feels, just
that's why. Okay, so that's why I'm
eating
single.
dicks.
That's
Yeah.
why
Not
I'm
know that
single.
that's
You're like
what we're
every
doing.
dick except
I
the
am
gem that I just threw down the fucking
I am to blame. This is what we've realized from this. Maybe I need to put in a little bit more effort.
No,
They're
look,
just so busy
Yeah.
being successful.
Yeah.
They can keep up.
correct. And because if the dude has any juice, you'd be like, that's probably legitimate.
But I think that's
Yeah.
why I say, hey, like if I'm actually interested in them, I go, let's just. When are you free?
up.
Like,
Yeah.
let's just catch up. I'm not the person.
Don't you feel that gear shift? Like when it's a proper chat on the on the dating apps, it'll like just go forward and be like, let's just hang out.
Or I'll be like, hey, add me on Instagram or something. And then
Yes.
I'm actually more likely to reply.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
I'll be like, because I'm on it all the time for my business. So I
Yeah.
check it every day. And then also, that's where I'm probably going to stalk them and see whether
Yeah.
they've got like
And that's fine,
mutual
yeah.
friends
Fish
or they've got a
photo, holding
decent
a
social
fish.
or I was going to say, yeah, no, cat. Yeah, you can do a lot of, you can gauge very quickly
Totally.
Yeah.
somebody by their Instagram profile.
Totally.
And
Explain, ladies.
Totally.
okay, so you can have a look to see, okay, do they go out all the time?
Yeah.
Do they
Is that good or
Party
bad?
boy.
I think well it depends on what kind of if it's just music festival, I'm like, yeah, nah.
Okay.
Too much of a party
Yeah.
boy. If they're like a beer at the pub, like with their mates and that
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of thing, they've got like maybe a photo with their dog or they got a photo
Yeah,
with
dog
The
photos.
dog
Ray
photos are
Riley.
big.
Done.
I used Balon. I did.
Yeah.
yeah.
I did. My man.
I had my old housemate used
He's
to
writing down dog
my,
photos.
no. My old housemate
Dog. Just taking some notes.
he used my golden retriever to pick up on the river.
Yeah.
Like he was literally like, "Hey, can I walk Miley?"
Yeah. You see a lot of that. See, I
Because
told
pick up.
you.
I pick up when I walk
Yeah.
it. I go,
Yes.
"Are you serious?
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
off."
Molly's like, where are we going again?
Yeah. It happens heaps at Welcome to Thornbury as well. Like dudes rock up
Yeah.
with dogs and you'd be like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's
Depends on the
madness.
dog. It also depends on the dog. Like it has to be
Thanks, Jay.
like I'm not. If you've got a
What
it's going to be so mean. It's going to be so mean. But if you've got like a Frenchie or like a Jack Russell or something,
Yeah.
I'm not keen on you.
I'm glad. No, because honestly, on the Bella
Have
episode,
one,
I was stuck in a corner with two girls that thought French bulldogs was.
Nah.
But it is a massive fuckboy dog.
Yeah.
And
Not
to be
about
fair,
it.
and especially because of like the breathing issues that they have.
I hate 'em.
I'm like, well, yeah, and it's like, what kind of piece of shit would choose a dog that can't breathe?
Because
To
it's-
live
yeah,
with them
it's a
every
fashion
day.
I don't know.
dog.
It's a shit
fashion
dog. It's a shit
it's a
dog.
shit
I
dog.
did. I dated
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy that had one, and I swear to God, it used to just like run up and down the house and like do like what do
Yeah.
you call them? Wheelies,
Zoomies.
Yeah.
zoomies,
Yeah.
and it was annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out in
They're like
Fuckboy
tweets.
Weekly, like get a French bulldog and
Yeah,
you'll get
bitches
puss.
like
And they were
nah,
like,
they're shit dogs.
send them this way, bro. Let's go. And
Nah,
it didn't work
shit
out.
dog.
So
Nah, shit dog.
We've got them. Good.
Got 'em.
Yeah,
Like,
Instagram
I'm glad.
screening is a good way to
Border
bet.
collie, golden retriever, lab, that kind of
Doberman.
thing.
It's like a staffy with a shorter lifespan, so in a way.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuckboy dog.
It is definitely, it's
Yeah,
like
not-
it's got a use by date
Yeah,
on it.
like a
That's
fuckboy.
terrible.
But yeah, you can pick up a lot from a date, from an Instagram
Yes.
profile. I think.
Done that.
Stalker.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
Selfies. See you later. No
Really?
selfies. We're not a
guys with selfies.
No
Ben
selfies.
goes like,
Especially
Don't have
now.
a mirror selfie. Don't have.
ooh,
Yeah.
dude's pouting.
All right.
Pouting.
We're gonna circle back around
Got
to
a really sexy power.
we're gonna circle back around to 13, but we'll go to 14. So our listener base is it's pretty split evenly between guys and girls, but obviously because both of you guys are in the fitness space, we're curious to see how much do you guys think like physical appearance plays a significant part in dating, and do you think it's more so for guys or girls?
That's a very personal question.
Yeah.
Like
But so
that's
this is
very
just-
individual.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think if you're into fitness,
Yes,
huge importance.
because that's the point is because both of you guys are
like
into
for me,
fitness.
okay.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about me, and because I'm into fitness, 100%, you need to be into fitness. Like you don't
Yeah.
need to be a bodybuilder. You don't need to be shredded and ripped.
Yes.
But you need to care about yourself. Like not
Totally.
even about your physical appearance, but you need to take care in your health. Like I want to. It's my lifestyle. It's my whole life. Like if you don't fit into that, then we're not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, like I want you to be able to come for a walk with me. Like let's go for a hike. Let's go and do something fun. Like come out for brunch. I track my macros. I'm going to be in a bodybuilding prep. Like
Yes.
we can't do all the like if you want to go and eat burgers and pizza all day, like it's not going to work for me. And if I'm cooking your dinner, you're going to get what I eat. So
Okay, yeah.
I think it's not. Yes, I think physical attraction is really important to me, and I feel like I need to. I think you're lying if you're saying it doesn't matter.
I agree strongly. Yes.
I think yes, we can all sit here and say personality comes first, and like so it should.
I think it's a mix.
But I think you need to be sexually attracted
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Like you need to have that physical.
Yeah.
They need to be physically
Well, especially if it's a
attractive
proper
to you.
relationship too.
Yeah, like you want to be physically and sexually attracted to somebody for it to work. And personally, I think the answer to that question is yes. Like I think, as in terms of male or female,
So, like, do you think
I think it's pretty equal.
I do, and I think it's a common misconception with women that it's not as important as what it is.
I think it is. Well, for me, it is anyway.
I agree. Are you
What
on
do
the
you
same
think?
page?
Yeah. I think when I was more in fitness life, it was because it's a lifestyle, right? Like you've got to have somebody who can have the same life as you. You know
They
what I
don't
mean?
have to, like I said, they don't have to live and breathe it. Like they don't need to be. They don't need to be in the fitness industry. I don't need to date someone that's in the fitness.
She literally said, "If you don't train, this probably wouldn't work." Remember?
Yeah.
Well, not like, but I think it's a
It
different.
might mean that you wouldn't understand that, like, if you read, like, Arnie's book or whatever, he's like, you're going to be fucking having a completely different lifestyle. Everyone that you know,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah,
might be
there's,
saying,
like,
if you
extremes,
didn't understand
but-
that I'm going to have this different lifestyle, then you might
That's
be
true,
like,
actually.
why the fuck are you getting up at 6 a.m. when
I
I'm
didn't think
doing
about it
this?"
like
I think,
that.
but,
Yeah.
you know what? It is a lifestyle. I think like, and my whole approach to fitness is it's a lifestyle. It's the
Yeah.
way that I live. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I go to bed early every night.
Yeah.
If you're a slob, like as bad as that sounds,
Yeah.
if you don't go to bed early, if you wake up at 10 a.m. every day, like I'll end up getting the shits with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll piss me off.
It's compatibility
Yeah.
stuff.
I think
right?
it's just like lifestyle. You need to live a similar lifestyle to that person
Yeah.
because you are going to be spending every day with each other.
Yeah.
Totally.
And even though your work is separate, and I completely think that when you're in a relationship with someone, you need to have your separate things, and you don't need to have everything the same. No,
Yeah.
and I think like I need to be able to say, hey, I want to go and do this by myself.
Yep.
This is my thing. Don't
Yeah, for
interfere.
sure.
I like doing this.
Yeah.
But then, and same goes for them. They're like, no, I'm going to go play golf with the boys. It's like, I don't want to come play golf.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
you like doing that. So
Yes.
go do that.
Like,
Yeah.
my dad would get up and do laps at dawn, and his wife would do exercise at the gym in the afternoon.
But that's
Quite an
great.
active life.
But that's great.
No
But
one
not
had to
parallel.
But they
get
don't
up
have to
at
do
the
together.
same
Because
time.
Yeah.
with that said, I actually hate training with somebody. I actually hate it.
Yeah, I hate
We
that.
I hate
separate.
it.
We separate when we go
it's
to the
like,
gym.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you can train and you do your thing, but
Yes.
like when I'm going to the gym, I'm going to do my thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all in all, you just need to, like, if you're athletic, like if sport is your thing, great. If I don't know, running is your thing, great. If gym is your thing, great. If it's just I like to get up and move my body in whatever way it is, as long as I take pride in myself, as long as like even the foods that you eat and stuff, like I preach balance. I am all about balance and like live your best life and have a drink and go out on the weekend and enjoy your life. But you need to be able to still care about your health at the end of the day. Like if you grow old with someone, if you're choosing to have a family with someone and have kids, you want them to be healthy.
It's an investment.
You want them to be healthy. Sure. You don't want them to die on you at like 50.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? Like you want them to, you want to be with somebody who takes pride in them. So in their hygiene, in cleanliness.
I didn't realize there was a lot of disgusting dudes until I dated her. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's normal.
That is
clean.
a huge importance for me. Like if you're clean, hygienic, and you take pride in your health.
That's
a huge
disgusting.
thing. So that is literally an answer to your question. It 100% matters.
It matters.
Yeah.
100%. Is that the prerequisite? Oh, so that was the feed into what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
Because your eyes lit up when we spoke about it. Yeah.
No, we got one more question.
We good?
If it doesn't get hit, then we hit it.
Okay. Good. All right. So most people that listen to this podcast are usually struggling with love life or mates of ours. But do you have any advice you can pass on to the listeners?
Males and
The
females?
Venn diagram.
Well,
Very much like two circles. One circle, actually. Yeah.
Well, look, if you feel like you can give better advice just for girls, that's fine.
No, this is to anybody. This will apply to anybody. So if they're struggling with finding love or look for it in yourself.
Totally.
Like
love that shit.
the people that jump from relationship to relationship are the people that are the most unhappy in themselves. And you're trying to fill that void with somebody else and you're only going to get hurt every single time.
Yep.
And I think, and I've noticed this from being single for 3 years. It's the longest period of time I've been single.
That's not long, but good work.
Good. So I've been single for 3 years, and this is the happiest, like genuinely, the happiest I've been on my own. Like I know when I was in relationships, I always felt that need to, like, you might say like a needy girlfriend or whatever, like, oh, why don't you want to hang out with me, or why don't you want to do this? And then it's like you get away from that. And I think when you're single for a month or so and you jump into another relationship, you haven't done the work. You haven't worked on yourself.
You're the same.
Whereas
You're
when you
the
come
exact
to
same
that
person.
point where you're like, fuck, all my friends are busy, it's Saturday night, I have no one to hang out with but myself.
Yeah.
You really, and I live alone as well. So
it's
I am
rough.
in my own thoughts all the time. Like I am constantly thinking of what's going on up there. Like
Isn't
I have
it
to
weird?
acknowledge
It's almost too much.
Yeah.
Like
so I'm always like thinking of my like darkest demons and whatever. Like I'm always like confronted with what I'm really feeling, and if I'm triggered by something, if someone's pissed me off, if I've gone and dated someone and it hasn't worked out, like I have to work out, well, why is this happening? Why is this pattern happening? And blah 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 blah. But I've also realized what actually does make me happy, and yeah, fitness is one of them things, but it's the people I surround myself with. I don't need a boyfriend to be happy. I've got a really, really good social circle that I depend on for my happiness. So I can call up, I can literally count on like my hand 4 main friends that I classify as my main support network.
Yep.
And without them, I probably would be depressed, not going to lie.
Yeah.
But because I have them, like me going to the gym with them and then getting a coffee afterwards is great. Me going for a walk and catching up with them for coffee is that little part of my day that actually brings me joy. And I go home and I'm like, I really like that. Like we didn't do anything fun. We just went for a walk and I had a great time.
It's just the connection.
It's connection. And there's also people that you hang out with and you're like, they drain my life. And then there's also people that you like, you fill up my cup.
That's the thing. She's the filling and the draining of the cup.
The filling and the draining of the cup. So the answer to the question is, don't just be that person that's trying to find love and you're trying to find happiness in somebody else, because what you need to do is you need to do the work for yourself. Yeah. You need to confront what's going on inside. Start journaling. FYI, tip for it. It's great. Like write down your thoughts, write down what triggers you, work out what actually makes you happy. Like work out what makes you miserable, what pisses you off. Like pay attention to those cues, because
know what you want is big.
Know what you want. Like, and I've realized
that's huge.
Yeah. Now if I'm same thing, this year on Valentine's Day was the first time I'm like, who gives a fuck? It's fine. Yeah. I don't care.
That's the thing. So that's because we spoke about our Valentine's Day episode last week. And the biggest thing about, like, because there's a lot of negative sentiments around Valentine's Day, and it usually comes from people that are unhappy, is you need to, that's your wake up call to work on yourself and figure out how do I get into a space where just a random day
you need to be happy
doesn't
alone.
make you upset.
If the advice is invest in yourself. Like do the work for yourself.
That's huge.
Find happiness in yourself.
one of those little clit sucky vibrators. And there's a lot of really
To be fair,
Game changer, apparently.
yeah, like,
Yeah, it's true.
yes.
It is true.
Let's talk more about that.
Find your toy and.
Let's talk more
That's-
about that because it's true.
Well, that's the thing. If we were talking about self-love and about this,
Yeah.
there's a
But
lot of
it's-
very clever self-love memes.
Hey, good business move on that end too, advertising for that.
No.
But it's really funny because when I was in I've been in long-term relationships my whole life.
Yeah.
Never depended on that stuff. Never needed to. Right?
Yes. Okay.
Still helps.
But 100%.
Yeah.
Now I know that.
Yeah.
It's only I'm 28 this year. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it works. It works.
It does, but yeah.
I missed all of that. God damn it! Like by your reaction, I was like, "Fuck, that was good." What
I
just
just
happened?
love James's little asides.
Yeah.
I live for them.
No, get a vibrator for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Self-love, self-care, all about it.
Well, I think that's a big thing too. Is like a lot of people in general feel like it's this kind of weird, awkward
Like
space. where it's-
taboo.
Yeah. It's harder for guys because we have to fuck objects like this fake can that you can put on your desk. That shit is
Can't
weird.
just,
To be
like,
fair,
cover it or whatever. Like, no.
yeah, that's Fleshlight started it. They had a torch when they first started, and then it's just Coke cans now. It's not good.
Sure, no.
Look, the guy space is so weird.
I can't.
The guy space is so weird. We don't want to
Does
judge,
that
but
actually?
it is.
One of my
Yeah,
friends
yeah.
bought a, it was called Pocket Pussy. And he bought it
Yeah.
vagina.
Oh, because you need to feel like you're actually fucking something.
Yes,
Yeah, like.
correct.
Like in a thing.
Yeah, you guys have things that go in you. We have things we need to go inside.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
So
gotcha.
he's bought this rubber tube, basically.
Flashlight.
Called Pocket Pussy.
Oh, the pocket, yeah.
So the Pocket Pussy, and he's used it, and he wasn't stoked with the.
Realism.
Poor review.
Yeah.
Poor review.
Yeah, so he's like,
One star.
fuck this, and he goes outside, and he was about to go. He lived in Adelaide at the time, and he was going to go interstate, or no, he was going to Bali for 2 weeks. And as he's left, he's like, "Fuck this crappy fucking rubber banana," and he throws it into the recycling bin. And then jumps in his car, fucks off, goes to the airport, flies to fucking Bali for 2 weeks, comes back, is driving back to his house 2 weeks later, and as he's driving up the street, he looks over, and on top of the recycling bin, there's like still out on a nature strip, like out the front of his house. It's been there for fucking 2 weeks. with
Excuse
this
me, sir.
fucking pussy sitting on
Your
top.
fake vagina is waiting for you.
I have not forgotten about
One of
you.
his neighbours has just walked out and gone, "What the fuck? This isn't recycling. This guy, you can't grab 2 sticks and like."
You can't recycle silicon, James.
That is funny.
But no, I think it's definitely a big thing for girls as well, feeling like that not talking about
Just
shit
being more
like having
accepting of
vibrators.
it. Like
yeah,
it's
man.
normalizing it, really.
Yeah.
And actually, to be fair, the moment that you realise you can get yourself off and not need a guy to do that for you,
Well, it changes the game.
It's also really empowering to be like, because that is actually something I used to think I needed from someone.
Okay.
Was like
that's
that
interesting.
sexual aspect, and I always used to feel like I would depend on a guy for that. And then the moment that I stopped needing that, I was like,
You're like, oh,
I don't
have all
need
the
you either
power.
anymore, bitch.
So do you feel like that makes you?
With a guy, and actually, it's fucking better.
Yeah.
Nah, to be honest, sometimes it's better on my own.
No, but look, that's fair. But I think so. I'm curious to see if did you have something similar like that with toys and guys? No, before me.
Have you got
Before
rid
me.
of it?
Before me.
And
Yeah,
gone
that's
now,
coming
right
later.
now?
No. I know the answer to that
Hold
one.
on, like-
But so do you think it like diminishes the connection you can have with guys?
It's very. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
You're meant to be answering.
No, you can both.
Ah,
I was trying to suss the sex toy stuff.
sort
That's
of takes the power out of them when you're like, oh, I thought you were the only one that I could get that from, but I can actually
Yeah.
do it by myself. So now I don't have to take your shit. I can actually just totally sort myself out.
Yeah.
So they lose a little bit of their like power.
Yeah, the ego.
Ah,
But
so
also,
Dick
I
Drunk
think-
is gone.
But
with the
no,
toys.
Yeah,
I think it's
because
very
you just,
different.
like,
Let you go.
no. I agree.
I think but, like because as well, like when you're with somebody else, it's intimacy.
Yeah,
And
the
I-
closeness.
and I'm
The
somebody-
closeness is
And
yeah.
I'm somebody who actually really enjoys intimacy with somebody. I actually like connection with somebody. So I think like I prefer that. I would 100% prefer to have sex.
Yeah, I think that
Obviously.
goes without saying.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but like
You wouldn't be thinking about your vibrator while you're having actual
Yeah.
No,
Like, I
not at all.
miss it.
Not at all. Not at all.
Although sometimes if it's bad enough, you're like, God damn it.
We do not have time for bad sex.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
So, so how do you guys mitigate that? How do you mitigate the bad sex? Can you get a vibe if a dude can or can't fuck properly?
100%.
As in, wait, without
100%.
without, as in
Yes.
before that.
So you're on the date or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And you're like,
Yeah, you
All
can,
right.
babe.
old mate's gonna throw down.
can.
How often would you say that's a hit or miss type scenario?
Oh, I've got it wrong, actually.
Yeah, I feel like it's not a exact science. Whereas Kayla got
I think I've got better at it. I've got better at it. Do you know what? Because now I've dated a bit more.
Yeah.
I used to be a really poor judge. I used to be a really poor judge character with the bedroom.
Of smash capacity. Yeah.
Like those guys with that big dick energy.
Yes.
Would generally have a small penis,
Or be really
not-
lazy.
Okay.
They're like,
or
"You
just
do
be
it."
shit. Like just be shit.
Right.
Whereas
All right, boys, the BDE. You're fucked.
sometimes it's the more shy and quiet guys that you least expect actually end up being really good.
Interesting.
You have to work harder for it.
Maybe.
Well, that used to be the
They're
meme.
not flashy and peacocking. They're comfortable with what they
Yeah,
have.
but
so
you'd
they
pick
don't
that
need
up
to
too.
have
It's a
that.
charisma. But I think it's
Yeah.
like how coordinated they are, the way they move their bodies. So like sporty dudes or dudes who can dance. They can dance. They can.
Have you ever had a dude that could dance that can't fuck? Don't get uncomfortable.
I don't know.
She's just thinking.
No. I'm just worried that she'll get uncomfortable.
I don't
Nah.
think there's I don't think there's a causative relationship between the two.
Well, I think
Just bail. I don't know.
You can dance all right, mate. It's fine. I
I
dance
Dance
plenty
is
good,
fine.
I
motherfucker.
can dance plenty fine.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a correlation between.
Well, not
I think
always.
I think people always think that there is. They're like, oh, this guy can dance. And
It's a mind-body
I think
connection.
that
Yeah.
the fucking
Looks as-
is
you look
a
coordinated.
It's a body connection. It's a
Yeah.
mind body connection.
it's also
Yeah.
maturity. I think we're as like
Yeah.
in your younger years, you do have shit sex because you're less experienced.
Yeah. You gotta build up those
As
skill
you-
points.
As you get older, like I can't really say I get bad sex ever now. Like I feel like
Okay.
whoever I sleep with is generally good. Like they
Yeah.
know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think a large portion of that is you understanding what you need as well.
That's true.
Because a large portion of that is the communication, right?
Mm.
And as you date, as you get older, it's less weird to be like, do you need anything in
Yeah,
general? Is there
and
anything that
when
you're
you-
super into? So that's that. If that conversation happens early, I think that's fine.
Also, I think if you're confident and comfortable to speak about what you want to, like it works.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about that, and
Mm.
that's a big thing we say on the podcast all the time. If you find out they get weirded out by some stuff that you ask for, it's probably not going to work.
Yeah,
Because
you
you're
want them
going
to
to
be
need it.
honest
You're going to
and
need it.
open.
Yeah. It's true though. Like there's some dudes that are like they're worried about like the finger in the ass and all that sort of stuff. And it's like if that's important to you,
You need
and
to
that's
convey
a thing,
that.
you need someone that can do that, or you're fucked. Do you know what I mean?
The guys with the finger in the ass. It's not so much.
That's because it is a big. It's a big guy, dude.
Can you hear burps through this?
Not
don't
at that
think so.
distance. You're fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll play you some clips of Lil burping, and you'll be like,
Oh,
oh,
you're like, I-
okay, that's a burp.
I think I just had a burp. Anyway,
I've
carry
been
on.
struggling for like the last
It's
hour.
So fine.
Yeah.
What was I up to? I was saying something.
Finger in the ass.
Oh, finger in the ass. I think the finger in the ass thing with a lot of guys, and I'm not speaking for myself here, I'm speaking for what I assume to be the case for other guys.
Yes.
Most guys, when they tell you about the finger in the ass,
Uh-huh.
there's a couple of things. I reckon one, often it's a metaphor for some more intense anal play than they've let on.
That could be a gateway to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, the way they're telling you, they're trying it on the side. They're trying it on the side.
Is this personal experience?
Yeah, it's definitely. It is definitely.
I can go into my personal experience with regards to this, but it's not. I'm talking about others.
Yeah.
Who have been like, oh, you know, and then we did this, and then we did that, and fuck, oh, you never. And it's those sort of like, footy jock sort of guys who wouldn't go there. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And then
Yes.
they're
Yes.
like, oh, and then
Yes.
she slipped her finger in, and fuck, it was all right, you know. And then
Do you know what?
They're
But
trying
really
to
it was a
decide.
massive butt
They're seeing
plug.
whether it's okay to have a finger in the butt, and then
yeah.
later on you find out that they're deep into pegging.
Yeah. Yes.
Where's Bill when you need him? Where is Bill?
So
That is
yes.
interesting.
I reckon that's what it is. They're trying to decide. She's like, oh,
Actually-
and then she slipped a finger in, and like, oh, has that ever happened to you? And you're
Just like
oh,
test the crowd response.
Yeah. Or some dudes will be like, oh, yeah, you know, this and that. Someone's like, oh, she slipped a finger in, and you're like, oh, somebody, that's me once. I wasn't a huge fan. Like, oh, it's like,
Oh my gosh.
the fact that you're saying that and who you are tells me
Also,
that you're right into it.
On the note of like the anal and all that, so I've got a gay best friend. the amount of straight guys that he has slept with
Yes.
blows my mind.
Yeah, it's the thing with gay
And the
dudes. We had
gay
Morris on
radar,
a few weeks ago.
I can't. I'm like,
There's nothing
he'll
more...
show me, because he's very comfortable with his sexuality. So,
He's super comfortable with getting straight dudes as well.
yeah. He fucking loves it. And
It's hunting. It becomes hunting.
Yeah.
It's like
But
Pokemon.
Get him.
He literally will show me photos. I'm like, he's hot. And he's like, yeah, I fucked him.
Know.
I fucked him. And I'm like,
Yep, that's it.
I would have fucked him.
Yeah.
How many people am I sleeping with that are gay? It's like,
That's interesting. Hence AIDS. But I think it's well, that's how it made the jump, guys. Just so you know. No, I think because Morris was on like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he kind of touched on the kind of amount of dudes that will try and pray the gay away. And there's a lot of guys that are gay that can suppress it quite profusely.
yeah.
And it slips into like the bi space, and not an expert on the matter, but it does feel like the jump from bisexual to gay on a guy is quite small. Usually, from personal experience, again, a lot of bisexual friends that I've had are gay, right? There is a spectrum, and it is varied. But I think there's a lot on straight dudes to be straight, especially in certain social, cultural circles. And they'll just legitimately, in their core, believe that they're not gay, and then do this gay shit on the side and be like, it's fine.
But it doesn't make me gay.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm not
Apparently
gay.
there's a thing called
That's actually more common than you reckon. Than you think.
It's massive.
Yeah,
massive.
men who we had a lady come to work and do like a in-service, like training us on all of these sorts of terms, and she said there's a thing
your
about
cultural-
straight
yeah.
guys. There's straight men, but they have sex with men sometimes, and it's called MSM.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so gay, and she's like, no,
Yeah.
just men having
Yes.
sex with men, and I'm like,
Often you know,
but can't they just say gay? And she's like, why would they
Because it's
say that?
against their culture, what they believe.
Right.
Quite often what they'll do is they'll show up to the gay area at the end of the night, and this happened to me on New Year's. I went super late. No. Dude,
I'm like,
hear my whole
Yes.
story before
I got
go
you, dog. No, I'm laughing already.
I
Let's
went
go.
to New Guernica, and it was the Sun Cycle after party. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't go to Sun Cycle, so I was just going to go to the other.
Explain what Sun Cycle is to everyone at home that doesn't know what that is.
Sun Cycle was a New Year's Day party that went until about 11. It went until just before midnight on New Year's, and it was in the Coburg Velodrome.
Oh shit! Yeah.
House of Kuma Beats and a bunch of fucking hippies and that type of shit.
Mhm.
You know, and Brunswick. So people went to that, and then the after party was at New Guernica. So I showed up a couple of hours after everyone would have got there, and I parked just a few things back from New Guernica.
Yeah.
Directly across the road from there's a gay bar there.
Yeah.
It's got the section out the front, and there's some gays there, and I've got my camera because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just take some film shots while I'm in.
James is a great photographer, by the way.
Yeah.
Jimmy walks.
Jimmy walks.
Mm.
Jimmy walks.
Go and
Out of
deconstruct
here.
I shall.
To do your deconstruction, you'll have to look at things.
You got to stay on point though, bro.
Yeah.
Gay guys in Collingwood.
Anyway, so there's these 3 gay dudes standing at the front of the bar, and one of the guys is wearing a singlet and it says, "Come in me, bro."
That's fantastic. How do I not get that T-shirt?
Come in me, bro.
Fantastic.
And he was big and he was fucking buff, and there was
Yeah.
this other guy, and I'm like, great. And so I was like, and I took a photo of him from
Yeah,
across the thing.
awesome.
And then they clocked me, and I'm sitting over there, just this like dude with a fucking scarf
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
fucking taking a photo, like sitting across
You
the road.
weirdo.
On my own, sitting across the road from these 3 gay dudes, just being like, yeah. And then they just like looked over at me, and I was like, fuck. Just realised the dynamic. They think that I'm here for whatever. And I remembered my gay friend who used to live down in Paran, and he said it was so common that you would get like footy jocks, real alpha, straight males come down. And they come down and they go out the back, around the side, somewhere else. Some sexual activity would take place.
Whoa. So they would just hang around and fuck
Yeah.
dudes.
Yeah, this is what this was I was so oblivious.
They would bash the dude that they fucked afterwards.
Whoa. Because they hate themselves so
movies,
much.
I swear I've watched a movie on that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
brutal.
that. And they're literally bashing the gayness in themselves out of that. So that's
Totally,
an
and it's like,
MSN
fuck
thing.
you.
So they go in there and they're
Right.
like,
Because they're like
So
ashamed.
because they hate that guy so much because he
Brought it out in them almost.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's your fault.
No, I've
Yeah.
literally seen this before. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. See, it's like, it's that level of, and again, I wish Lil was here because she'd be like, you're talking out of turn. But what I'm saying is, my personal opinion is that they've tried to suppress being gay
Yeah.
so much,
So
that
sad.
they have pushed the blame onto someone else.
They're not
And
taking
this-
accountability for how they actually
This
feel.
issue is someone else's, not theirs. And it's like there's nothing wrong with anyone.
Yeah.
You just honestly,
like, be okay with it.
being gay is one of the easiest tropes ever. They have so much sex, even though Morris said it's quite hard.
They
now if you
fucking
don't
do.
have
I'll
abs.
tell you
Yeah.
for free.
But so Morris told us the other week if basically Tinder for them now is completely fucked. If you're not shredded and if you're not like
It's actually hard.
Yeah.
It goes into like people's houses and does the dressings and stuff like that.
Terrifying.
And she's just told me some. Yeah. And
I
it's
did that for, like-
clearly from those activities.
Yeah, totally.
Causing it.
Totally.
There's a lot of-
We missed what you guys were talking about.
There's a lot of
A community nurse goes into people's homes and takes care of like wound care and stuff in the home. I did it for like 3 months. It was so fucking dangerous,
and
by
they
the
have
way.
these, like,
But a lot of the injuries, like anal stuff, that
there's a lot of
like wild
rectal
anal
and
injuries.
cancers, and then they'll have like a cyst or something that's like fucking burrowed into their like.
Oof.
pylonic. It's a pylonic
cyst,
cyst. Yeah.
yeah.
Done a few
All
of
right.
those.
Like horrible.
Done a few of those in my
Can't.
nurse history.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
We went from how did we end up down here?
Down in the gutter.
This is how did you pass on
Oh.
advice to people struggling with love? Anal sex.
Anal fishes.
Apparently
Hacking
it's not
anal
as bad
wounds.
for women though. It's worse for men because of the anatomy. Of
There's more.
That
Yeah,
would
there's
make
more going
sense.
on and more being inserted.
That would make sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. So anal sex is easy for chicks. Nice.
Yeah.
Huh.
So with
Rated B.
with that one, if that's it. Fuck.
Yeah. But you can come back around to because I know you had the prerequisite for the training partner.
Yeah.
Possible dating stuff.
I want to
Slam
ask,
it in.
Yeah, I want to ask a question around. It was around that lifestyle thing of fitness people, and it was more so less around the lifestyle, more around the image aspect of it. I think.
Yes.
Because you see these people, like I look at your Insta or your Insta, and you get these, shredded bodies, and you're like, yeah, and you can see that someone's put a lot of time and effort into that. Or I hear you say, like, when I look at Nuta's Instagram, I don't see, lots of shredded six packs and shiny sort of bodies, but I hear you say, without that lifestyle, if you didn't understand the lifestyle or nutrition or whatever.
What he's saying is, I don't look like I train, but you're still dating me. Why?
No.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to make him uncomfortable. I'm totally kidding.
What I'm saying is like I don't think it's an extreme stance, but it's a position on something, and to what degree? Because I was like with someone who would train 4 days a week, 3 hours a day.
I think I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I do too.
You're trying to say that, or what you're trying to ask is just because somebody, okay, and there's clients that I have that are like this as well. They train like crazy, but they don't look like a supermodel, right? So they could be the hardest working woman in the room. They could be doing all the things with their nutrition, like they are ticking boxes, but they don't look quote unquote like a bodybuilder girl. Yeah, is that what you're saying? So you're saying for a guy, he could be doing all the things, he could be as fit as anything, he trains well, he eats well, but he's just doesn't have a six pack.
Or more, what's the breakdown between...
He's got a man bun.
Yeah, between the look and the nutrition and the lifestyle at large. Like, are you like, just like you said before, this guy's a slob, I'm getting up at 5 a.m.
I think it's personality traits. Like, I'm more drawn to that. I think it is more lifestyle. Look, don't get me wrong. I love a boy with muscles and a six pack, but like it's not the be all end all.
What's your thought on abs, Amy?
I hate abs on a dude. It's a
Why is that?
massive red flag.
Why is that?
really?
It's the reddest
it's
of
the
red
best.
flags.
She's like, guys with abs, he's definitely cheating on you. Like,
Or he's definitely taking roids.
Yeah, that's mean. If there's any like fitness dudes, I'm really
that's
sorry.
a good point. If they are
Babe,
like a little bit,
Take it from a 37-year-old lady who's dated fitness pros.
yeah, if they're not as attractive, no one wants less people want them.
Well, no, I mean,
They get less attention.
I just don't think that, speaking very generally and being really offensive probably, but I think you know what it takes to have a six-pack, right? A vascular 8% body fat six-pack. Like,
It's pretty tough.
it's your whole...
Look at all that Basculation going on down there.
Jamie gets it out. He's like,
I'm sorry, I was looking through the reflection.
no, Daisy.
You don't want to look
He's
directly
single,
at
ladies.
this.
Yeah, we'll call him blind. Yeah, I was gonna say.
At Jimmy Walks is the Instagram if you want to slide into his DMs.
True.
You know, there's not going to be a lot of this on there, but
Yeah, but you
do
know
slide them
you've
over
had a
there.
preview. I just feel like a lot of 6 and 8 pack dudes aren't working that hard to fuck just one girl. It's not enough.
That's a pretty good analogy.
It's such a lot
And
of
I'll pay
effort to be like, no, this is just for my missus. Like, I feel like
Just for me. I just like to feel good about myself.
yeah, I'm like,
I'm
like pulling your dick in the mirror to yourself. Like,
Yeah. It's the gay for pay stuff, babe. It's good money.
It's sort of
It's good money.
Yeah, and like, there's something like really lame about like, I've dated dudes who are like, I'll get the salad, but can you put the dressing on the side because I don't trust how many grams of oil are in that, and I'm tracking. And also with the steak, can you prepare it with like a no oil on the thing? And I'm like,
I think this is this is good for Kayla. This is what she's looking
Stay
for.
home, bro.
No, there's a time and place. I feel like this is gonna sound so bad. I feel like that's okay for me, but if I had to do it for 2 people, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
If you didn't know him, and he's like,
you got your idiosyncrasy and they have theirs.
Yeah, but if you're cooking for him, it's different. I know, and true. And my grocery shop would fucking go through the roof.
well, he has to financially contribute to that, man.
Yeah.
Especially his.
But I know what
bulking
you
or
mean.
something.
But I'm actually not attracted to like gym bros at all.
Interesting.
I would go for more of an athletic kind of sporty guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's like, you know,
fighting.
they play sport or they go to the gym casually. They go out with their mates. They have a good
That's the
time.
best.
They go
That's
out for
the best.
beers.
Yeah.
Like, there's a very happy medium there.
That does track with your EQ. But I guess my initial thing, I honestly thought you would have been more drawn to the gym bro-y type dudes.
No, absolutely not.
Based off the shitty dating experience that you've had.
Yeah.
No, because I feel like the shitty datey guys I go for are footy
Yes.
boys. So
Oh,
Yeah. Look, we have a clip out this week about footy boys. That's
footy boys,
It's a thing, man.
They're good for a good time, and that's
Well,
about it.
It's compressed bro culture.
Footy boys this week. Just this week.
You're against them. I'll jump on again for another episode.
There's
I'll,
a footy boy in our sphere who's not. Who's done.
yeah, it's just a red flag. That's a red flag for me.
Footy.
they're too. Yeah,
you
they
talking
can't. You're not going to be the first priority.
Is footy a red flag? Is that what you're saying?
Completely.
Yeah, but so she grew up in Perth.
No, not grew up.
Oh, sorry. Your formative years were in Perth.
Yeah.
With the West Coast
Even
Eagles,
before
so
then.
she has a
Even
strong
before then,
Oh,
man.
okay.
Like, it's
issue
just
with
not-
I don't
footy
think
players.
it's a red flag. I just
There's
think.
nice ones. I shouldn't say that. There's good in everybody. Like,
I mean,
I know we're
yeah.
being very stereotypical here.
generally
we have to.
speaking.
We're talking in general, yeah.
But in terms of footy boy, I think what you need to be aware of is you're not the first priority. You're probably the
Yeah.
last. Like
Yeah, no,
they,
E grade EDFL
you know,
definitely
like
is
you,
up there.
The boys
and,
are first. The boys are first all
yeah.
the time.
The
Like you're never
boys,
first.
That's it. It's not even the training because I'd respect that. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
it's
fair,
not
bro,
that.
You've gotta go
It's
twice
the
a
boys,
week
the
and you're
boys,
getting
the boys,
paid
the
for
boys,
it.
the boys, the boys, the boys,
Yeah.
boys.
And it's pack mentality, and it's like they'll give me shit if I do this and all that.
The
shit.
team player mentality, which great, you're part of a team, cool. But like also
Yeah.
when you've got when you've got a partner, they should be your first priority.
I never actually
like you're
asked.
your first priority. Like you're your first priority. Your partner should be your second.
Do you date younger or older usually?
Older, 100%.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say you're going to pass that summit where that matters less as they get older. The tie to like the
I think
crew
it's
and
the
the boys.
maturity.
It drops off at about 30, and then starts to like dramatically decline from that point forward. Because it's
I definitely date over 30. I reckon.
yeah.
Who's the youngest guy I've ever dated?
Yo.
It's my little toy boy.
Mate, it's 35. It's not that young. 35 on Monday. Thank you very much,
that's the
everyone
youngest
listening. Has my face been cut off by the mic the whole time?
Mine too.
Okay, that's fine.
She's been hiding.
We're wasting the goods. But I think that pack mentality drops off as you get older, and you start to fall into yourself. You don't need,
Your mates.
because it is a support network. That's primarily what it is.
But I think a guy that has 3, 4, 5 friends, not 30,
Yes,
is better.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like a smaller friendship circle.
And I would say, if we were to go back to the questions, a red flag are really large social circles. Speaking as someone that had one. Even my psychologist at the time was like, you have too many friends, dude. There's no way you can maintain consistent, honest relationships.
Yeah, you
with
need to
that
weed
many
them
people.
out. You need to
Yeah.
weed them out. But you get to a point in your life where you're like, I don't need heaps of friends. Like, I actually am.
Oh,
and this is
man.
me personally. I love having, like, and I'm very openly honest with, like, I have 5 friends, and then people get offended. I'm like, I have a lot of acquaintances.
Yes.
Like, I have
Yeah.
a lot of girlfriends that I will call up, hang out with, go for a walk with, whatever.
Yeah.
But my core friends,
Your people. Yeah.
my people,
yeah.
5.
And I think
That's it.
that's normal for most people. I think we've just the definitions blurred a bit, and you feel bad when you don't refer to someone as a friend. And it is that thing, like once you have those definitions clear, the people you can hold space for and really have that, like the way that I think a comedian put it was like, who are you going to call when you need to bury a body?
Yeah, but
And who's going to
literally,
answer it and do it with you?
Literally.
Like
Literally.
that's the crew.
Yeah.
Like they're the people that are like you're like, okay, we're cool. Like this is my person that I'm connected with.
When
on that
shit
level.
hits the fan, who's going to be there for you?
And that's kind of what puts it in perspective, I guess, for me is like, okay, cool, yeah, they're still friends, but they're not friends, if that makes sense. Like
They're
they
not
wouldn't.
bury the body
If I
friends.
was lost somewhere or whatever, I'm like, hey man, can you come get me? And like, they're not. Like, shout out to Lucas, who will just pick you up randomly.
Yeah.
They're the friends. Do you know what I mean?
Take your car to the depot when you move interstate. Shout out to Cheyenne.
But that's true though,
Yeah.
right? Like those little
Totally.
things are the things that matter and the things that
Of
count.
course.
It's the same with your friends, it's the same with you valuing yourself. Is I think you get to a point in your life where instead of trying to go out there for things, you're just like, what I've got, I'm happy with. When you get to that point, that's what I realized.
Totally.
Because I met someone and I started seeing them, and I was like, I don't want to get involved with this person because they will put at risk what I've set up in my life. And for the first time ever, I was entering a relationship being like, I'm going to intentionally keep this person at bay so that they can't fuck up what I've built. And even if I want them to meet my friends or be involved in this social circle, which ultimately didn't work out, and they're gone. But, I was just like...
You kept them at arm's length.
Yeah, I was like, don't let them get involved, don't let them do what someone else has done in the past.
This is the thing with dating. I think that's a lot of people. I think as soon as you hit about, I was going to say 30, but I'm not even at 30 yet, and I feel like
I'd say your EQ would peg at about 32.
Yeah, for sure.
And what I'm trying to say is, if you get to that point where you're so happy on your own,
Yeah.
you're kind of like, well, I'm happy on my own. I don't need anyone else.
Totally.
And then you just don't end up in a relationship.
Yes.
Because
So
you
that's
get...
also when you find someone that you can't fucking resist. And you
Yeah.
just like,
Well, that's it.
how many people I know?
God damn it.
How many people I know are in that same
I can't say I've felt that before.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It's happened to quite a few people I know where they're just like, nope, that's it. I finally got the life I want. I don't want to meet anyone, whatever. And then literally within a week, they'll be like...
But isn't that funny? That's when it happens. When you
Yes.
finally,
That's exactly
when you have your
Cup is full.
Correct.
That's
shit
when it
together
can
with
happen.
yourself, someone else will fall into your
That's
life.
when it can happen. It can happen.
Because you don't want to enter that
Totally.
space though, where you're so comfortable in your own space. One of Nikki's best friends ended up in this space where she was so comfortable in her own space that she would date dude after dude after dude, and she was just so comfortable doing her own thing that she kept kind of missing out on these awesome connections. She's like, everything's fine, blah blah blah, but she was just so rock solid in her thing
I think
that
that's
she just
me.
didn't.
I actually think that's
3
me.
years, I think you're all right. Like you'd be approaching it, but you might just be hitting dudes that aren't hitting the spot. Do you know
They're
what I
just
mean?
not. Nah,
Yeah.
they're absolutely not.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
When you hit 5, 6, 7 years, then maybe you're in that space. But
just
it's,
going
you,
with the flow.
You know what you want, and your EQ is significantly higher than this other person. That's how you end up in those weird spaces. You're just happy being on your own. Yeah. You know what you want, and you just haven't found it yet. That's the big difference. For
yeah.
you. And I think that's the part that you can take from the pod, because we're supposed to give you advice. We just listened for like fucking an hour and about 40.
Give us some advice. Give us some advice.
So I think the thing with you is because your EQ is so high, you definitely need to know the big key signals in guys that can reciprocate that, right? Yeah. It sounds like for a long time you've had dudes that don't understand it, and you're trying to make it fit because you want to date someone, right? So you're in these spots where you're like, fuck, this guy's like, he's ticking all the right boxes, but you know there's something missing. And we tend to glaze over those things.
I think
that's EQ. So yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. And when you start finding dudes with that, you might need to look at kind of where the dudes are coming from.
Yeah.
And then finding spaces where you're finding guys that are of a higher EQ that tick other boxes and kind of being in those spaces. Because on the apps, you'll just get random cunts that will swipe that you're attracted to, right?
Especially if you're
And man, like, you're not going to get EQ in a bio. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, mine was fire, but it didn't, you know.
That's why I never got into dating apps, because I'm like, you're going to meet this person on this bullshit surface fucking reference.
Yeah.
Then you're going to go and you're going to invest all this time in communicating with them to hopefully meet them at some point.
Yeah.
Then you're going to go there.
Well, that's where you don't.
That's where Kayla wins, because she just dates them straight away. She's like, fuck this. Yeah.
Fucking skip a step.
Saves
Next. Don't waste my time.
Like,
That's
when
true.
that girl walked into that fucking beer garden at that place, I was just like, and she kept walking towards the table, I'm like, oh fuck, this is hey, how you doing? It was a blind date, so I had no idea. But you're gonna be invariably disappointed. It's like all of that effort and energy you put into a complete unknown. It's probably a fake, you know. And Steph came in. Oh, check out this guy. She's got 5 dudes that are interested in me. Fake profiles, stock images, bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like,
that was hectic.
Yeah, it's like, why put your energy into that?
I know.
Wow, I can't say I've experienced the fake profile thing. That's crazy.
Oh, so you haven't been catfished yet?
Never.
Okay, it's rough.
But
it's
they
not
can't
good.
catfish if you're just like, let's catch up then. Because if they're not real, they're not going to have a chance to
No, but see,
string
that's the
you
thing
along.
with the guy perspective is you will get catfished where the
sorry.
photos are like
Makeup, filters, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it hides a lot, and then you meet them in person, you're like, oh shit, not the same person.
But with guys, no, guys don't take many photos. Girls take a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Guys will put photos of them from 6 years ago
I agree.
when they were shredded, and then you meet up with them and you're like,
So you have been catfished. You have been catfished.
maybe
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
Yeah.
They put photos on from when they freaking looked good, and then they've deteriorated.
Yeah. And then, but that's almost that swing of like, but you liked me as a person. You're like, no. There was the attraction switch.
I was
first.
still attracted to you with your good rig.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Look, I'm
you-
still attracted to you, but you just misrepresented yourself.
Well, that's if you start off. That's the thing, man. If you start off on a lie, like, where are you going to go from there? Like, it's
else
not
do you lie about?
because it's like you don't look good now because you didn't put the photos of you now.
Exactly.
You're like, so why do I have to then accept you now when you didn't sell you now? You sold you when you were good. We both know you then is good and you now is not as good as you then.
So rough.
Right? I'm gonna write that down. It's good.
That's a good little bit.
That's a bit. Can I add a question, 17? You mentioned before you did some journaling, you did some self-searching, and you crystallized some of the things that you are looking for in a partner now. If you had that as a list, what would that list sound like?
So I listened to another podcast, and it was
Not this podcast. It's
It was-
offensive.
no. It was obviously on like personal development and stuff.
Yeah.
You won't need to do that
And
anymore now that you know
That's it.
you've got
I know.
57
I know.
episodes
I
of
know.
that.
We'll go back and listen to
It's
myself.
like 100 and something.
So if I were to put on a list, if I were to write down on a list the qualities in a person that I would look for, so
I'm gonna add that's a question we need to ask more often.
okay, so career driven, ambitious, outgoing, adventurous, funny, has their shit together. They need to have their shit together for me. You're gonna ask me, what does that mean? Like, was it?
No.
I was going to throw my headphones and go and walk out the door.
You need to have your shit together for me. I think
Yeah.
because I've got my shit together. If you don't have your shit together,
Totally.
I'm just like,
I think that's very, very kind of standard of thing. If you're ready for that point in your life, you've sorted yourself out.
I'm ready for the. Yeah.
It's very hard to bring in
don't-
that chaotic energy, James.
Yeah, because when it's not on your list, it can creep in, right?
Yeah.
When it's on your list, then it doesn't creep in.
Yeah. But I think we spoke about before the absolute like non-negotiables for me is communication. Like
Yeah.
you need to be able to communicate well. You need to be able to open up about your feelings. Don't fucking be pissed off with me and say nothing's wrong. Like tell me tell me you're not
That's a
feeling
big
it.
thing, isn't it? I've heard that from a few friends
don't
recently.
Don't just ghost me. Like just
Yeah.
tell me you're not
And look,
feeling
I do
it.
that. I'm really bad. Like I'll say everything's okay
Yeah,
when
but I
there's
just
a
know
problem.
it's not.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You know, we
It's-
all know when people
know.
like, and same thing. Like I can sense, like I can tell when someone's not
Upset.
feeling it. I
Yeah.
can see when they're upset, angry, pissed off, whatever. I'm really good into reading that stuff, and so for a guy, and same thing. I think when the more relationships you have, the more you take away with what you want versus what you don't want.
Yep.
So from previous relationships, I was with guys who couldn't speak about their feelings. They bottled
'Cause you dated
everything
footy boys.
inside.
Way too many footy boys.
The two boys that I was in long-term relationships with were not footy boys. They actually weren't.
It's a good indicator.
But yeah, if they close off, if they use drinking, alcohol, drugs as a coping mechanism to deal with their emotions, but like I feel like it's a bit weak.
Yes. No,
Like,
but
just
I
be
think that's a good
vulnerable.
point.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah. And look, I think with the
Pretty vulnerable on drugs.
yeah, it's true though.
Literally.
No, but so I guess the big thing is because I've noticed.
From what I hear.
You are right though with the heavy using phases and things like that. It does often happen in spaces where you're not necessarily dating someone consistently, and there is. I tried to explain this to a really good friend of mine who I went to Spell with, Chris, because he was raised kind of in a not a mission but like a super Catholic lifestyle, and I took him to Revolver and was trying to explain. So it was before we met. It was my birthday, I think. And I took Chris to Revolver.
Boy to Revolver.
Yeah. And we went downstairs and I explained it and I said, look, it's just a bunch of people dealing with emotions, trying to find that comfortable space that you don't have. And he was like, oh.
Revs?
Yeah. I was downstairs explaining how like the drug dealers rotated.
That's a spot.
Yeah. Dude, I was
Everyone
like
else who
fucking
went
6
there-
caps deep. Like it was
Everyone
fucked.
else who went
Yeah.
there would be like, we're there to have a good time. And
But
you're
it's like
"So
it's people. Yeah, it is people decompressing those emotions that you can't process, and it sucks when you date someone that's doing that. But because to me, it was always a space that I was in when I was single, right? Because there's different. You can party for fun, but it's a completely different. Not a 7 to 9 hour bender. It's like just a drink or whatever. That's going to last a couple of hours and then that's it.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever been through that phase.
Yeah, there's that overcompensation. But it's because you've been so high EQ for so long. It took me a long time to understand that. And it's still a crush. Like if, say, there was ever like a catastrophe and God forbid, something happens.
I got hit by a bus.
I would probably fall into a slump because it's a really good coping mechanism. Because it's that Band-Aid fix. But through your training and stuff that it's a long drawn out process and you understand.
You need to do the work. Like you just need to do the work. You need to be able to work out what triggers. And I think that's again why I think I will be better in relationships now. Is I know what things
100%.
trigger me, and rather than like being reactive, like I think I'm also a lot better with understanding both sides of the story.
I need to be
I
less
think
reactive.
I'm a better listener now. Back then I was not a good listener, and I probably also would just lash out, whereas now I don't think I'm that kind of person. I actually walk away and I stick with silence, and I think that works better.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I fail with silence significantly, a lot. It's not a strong suit.
Like, think about, respond later. Respond
Look
later.
at her face. You can say yes, it's fine.
Babe,
It's okay.
we're not going to talk about flaws because I have a rage problem right now.
No,
That's awful.
It's the hottest thing I've ever seen.
Oh
She will
my
go from 0
God.
to 100
I'm
like
gonna
that.
Get help. I'm gonna get help.
No, I know.
I need to have
But she'll
anger
destroy
management.
objects like
It's
that.
fucked. I'm so ashamed of this. It's not how I want to show up in the world. It's not how I want to be.
It's not my best person.
It's not my best self. Not showing up as my best self.
No, but she'll do like the clenched
Newt
fist.
is gonna ring
The it's
Newt's
it's pretty
just like,
hot. Yeah.
Babe.
She was yelling at me once,
Don't. Oh my God.
and I remember like just the passion
I was so confused.
that was there. Yeah.
Were you
We were
just
right in an
PMS?
I don't know what.
No,
it
I think I
was.
genuinely was a piece of shit. I did something wrong. I will
couldn't
admit
work out
that.
why he
I
was
think it was
like-
my bad.
You were yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Which isn't cool. Raising your voice is never cool.
Yes.
But he kept like looking. He was like angry, but like looking down, and I'm like, "Is there something on me?" And he was like, "No, just looking at your arm."
Because she gets like, I don't know, as if it's a pheromone release or something. I don't know. There's like a different gear that you hit when you're upset.
I'm like a.
Yeah, there's this is coming.
and it was turning him on.
He was the quiet
Yeah.
one.
It is
I
always the
look like a
quiet
little
ones. As
ballerina,
you
but
said.
then
Yeah,
I'm like-
true. There's-
Raging
Oh, snap.
wild animal.
How long have we been recording?
Yeah, that's me.
We've been recording for an hour
I turned
50. It's
into
one of
the
our longest
Hulk.
ones.
Whoa.
We can
That's-
It's
pretty
actually
much.
good because I think
Yeah.
even though the shorter episodes go better,
Yeah.
and more concise, and people will listen to them more. You get more material out of a long episode. So
I do. And I very rarely, and this is a tip of the hat, I very rarely learn a lot from guests. Usually I'm trying to work and like do stuff. No, it's true, man.
Taught you have a-
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of EQ stuff that's come through that's fucking awesome. And I think it'll translate because I was genuinely asking questions to help myself. And that's always handy. That doesn't happen often.
There you go.
So,
Amazing.
yeah, it was dope. But thanks for coming on, man.
No worries.
That was that's probably one of our longest podcasts ever. Thanks, Hash, for sticking out for the whole thing. Do you want to pass on?
We had 2 more questions to the end.
Yeah, go.
Done, you know, the 16 personalities.
I don't know what you were going to say that. Disc or gallop?
Ooh.
Have you done
I know
that?
what you're talking about. I don't think I have.
Like,
Doing this with the
introvert,
girls.
extrovert, blah, 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 blah. We should distribute the 16 personalities.
Yeah, let's do it.
Have you ever done a full natal birth chart? Which really gives a fuck about sometimes.
No.
Is that do you know what time you were born thing?
Yeah, or do you know what's...
I think I was super high and made fun of it.
Oh, yeah. I know a little bit about star signs and stuff.
Mm.
Do you reckon you can guess a star sign? Can you guess my star sign?
You seem almost like a...
Is there a Taurus in there somewhere?
Yeah, you're an earth sign, I reckon. You're a Taurus.
I'm
The
not.
guy who hates star signs just like...
No, I'm a Cancer, and supposedly a Cancer is very compatible with a Taurus.
you
Apparently
go.
a Taurus and
Yeah.
a Cancer have similar personalities.
Interesting, yes.
We're water signs. Water.
What am I? Do me. What am I? Guess me. You just looked at my hair.
Yeah, no, it was in the aura.
Oh, Jamesy.
Gay!
The thing is...
If you got this right, I would be like...
That'll be the best clip ever. I was looking...
Guess the
The
star
thing
sign.
is, you've got a real, like, earth energy.
You just said that about me.
No.
Yeah, but you guys are actually very similar. To be fair,
Yeah.
there was a lot of stuff that you were saying that Amy says. I think that's
really?
why she was vibing a lot of it. So I
Totally, babe.
concur.
You're not a water
I
sign.
concur, James.
You're not a water sign yet. I reckon you're an air sign.
And isn't it water, fire, or
No. Oh, see, you're a
I
fire
don't know, bruh.
sign. Damn.
Saggy?
That's where the fucking rage comes in. Like
A Saggy?
Fully. Fire and water.
Oh,
does
yeah,
that mean?
yeah, getcha.
What does that mean?
Not good. Fire and water, no
I'm a
good.
fire sign.
Yeah, that's why we do Biff.
Oh, which side are you? Oh, fully.
Yeah, everyone's like, stay away, demon
Okay.
woman.
Nah, Leo's are good.
Dudes who
Leo's
know
a
what
My
star
mum's a
signs are,
Leo.
hate
Leo,
Leos.
if you could choose which sign to be, you would want to be a Leo. If I could choose my sign, I'd choose to be a Leo.
I reckon
Yeah.
I'd be a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius
Okay.
are meant to be really good in the stack.
They are, and
They're very sexual people.
Oh, it's not on the
Sexual.
screen, god damn it. Oh well, it's gone now.
I reckon Leos are like red flag people though. Like my cousins are like, ugh, don't tell people. Don't say that out loud. Leos are horrible, vain, proud.
Yeah, but they're simple and easy to understand.
We have a main.
Don't
Always
believe.
have a main.
Strongly disagree.
Loyal.
No, but you
Help.
understand that primary motivation.
Blink twice.
Yes.
To be seen and
Which is
enjoyed.
like, oh man.
No, I'm kidding.
Fully.
I'm kidding.
Leo makes perfect sense, but I would never.
But like that loyalty thing, like if somebody touches one of my girlfriends, I wanna collect your fucking spinal cord. Like I'm so fucking protective of my friends. Like people I love, I'm like, I will make you a good. Like,
she's
I
spicy.
can't.
She's very, yeah.
Like,
Crazy.
I can't.
No, but you're not. It just comes out in waves.
I'm really.
You're
sorry.
very sweet.
I'm
You're the
so
most
sorry.
empathetic person I know. So that's a benefit.
just don't do wrong by her, and you'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Just don't-
It's-
I'm
that's
working
very
on
true.
it.
Don't,
I am.
just don't break
No.
I
up.
promise.
Yeah. Correct. But do you have 2 questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, that were my questions.
Okay.
16 personality type.
And you're a Cancer, did you say?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
That makes sense. Do you know
Yeah.
your sun and ascendant or anything like that?
Oh,
Your moon.
apparently I'm a. Actually, this is a question from my friend Matt. He knows this stuff very well. I think I'm a
See,
Gemini
her gay
rising.
friend knows it, James.
He knows. He reads palms as well. He's good.
I
But
can also read the tea leaves in there.
I'm gonna have so many clips of me just being a cunt.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's how I found out I was
Oh, no,
a
he does.
psychic,
Yeah.
Because I went to they read the coffee cups.
Yeah.
oh, fucking, let's do this off air.
Yeah. And I went, no, everyone can enjoy this. Can be behind the paywall.
Yes.
Wisdom. Whereas I used to go to these Lebanese. I was married and my wife was Lebanese, and we used to go to these functions. All the dudes would hang out with barbecue and flip meat, and all the women would go and sit there and drink coffees, and they'd turn the coffee cups upside down and read the coffee cups and give fortunes. And I sat there and watched about 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, right, I can fucking do this. And I stepped up, and like one of the old, real like witchy gypsy sort of ladies, like looked at me, and she looked me up and down, and she's like, I reckon you can do it. And I was like, sweet, give me the fucking cup. And I got this cup, and this girl sat in front of me, and she was like, she was almost about to finish uni. She was right at the end of uni. Sat down, ran a coffee cup, and I told her this fantastic story, which it turns out is exactly what she wanted to hear.
Wow.
And she was like, I was like, you're gonna graduate, you're gonna get great results, you're gonna get your ticket.
How did you sense it though?
What?
How did you sense it?
Well, she was a young woman. She was 11.
You're full of I'm like, this story is going nowhere. I can sense that.
She was
I
just
can.
finishing. No,
I
but
thought it was
then
the most general statement I could make, and I made it.
I'm a psychic, guys. I actually am.
She was 11. She
Guys.
Yeah,
She was in
yeah.
her final year. She finished her studies, but she'd not yet received the ticket. The next thing they have to do after that, and they can't date until they've got their ticket, and then they get their ticket, and then they've got to get married ASAP.
Yeah.
And start up to their degree.
So you just predicted
okay.
what was the
basics.
inevitable.
So,
inevitable.
because at the end of the day, if I go, this is what happens to you, she's going to go, that'd be fucking dope. I really hope that happens.
And she'll manifest it.
And
in
if
her
she
mind.
believes
Yeah.
that that's what happens, and
That's like-
everyone goes, I remember when that fortune-telling fucking dickhead said that
Yeah.
you were going to do this. Yeah, we all believed him, and that's
You
exactly what
have.
happened.
And
She
that's
went out-
all the
she went out,
psychics,
she
guys.
got married and she had kids before we.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love it.
And on that note,
I'm here for it.
James isn't an official psychic, but can predict all the basics if you need it.
But subscribe below.
All right.
Okay, so you can get us on linktr.ee/IrrPlatPod. That's IRRPLAT pod. Kayla, how can everyone on the pod catch you? Sign up for your stuff.
Alrighty, you can jump on the Like a Girl website, Like a Girl Fitness website, www.likeagirlfitness.com.au.
This will all
Get
be in
on
the
it.
description of
Or
the pod.
you can, Instagram is fine. So Like a Girl Fitness on Instagram is usually where I am posting away.
Thank you so much. It was
Get
genuinely, I've never learned so much from a guest in our podcast ever. Like, legitimately, man. Thank you so much.
What did you learn? I want your
Thanks.
key takeaways.
My key takeaways.
Yeah.
What did you learn?
That's, well, to be honest, I didn't think that it was as hard for super fit chicks to date as it was for everyone else. Given my experience with Ames, like I've heard her trials and tribulations, but I think it just kind of verified that it doesn't matter kind of how you look or what you do. Everything is kind of a shit show, and you've got to make of it what you can. And also, it's really humbling to see someone in the fitness industry understand like the emotional aspects of life, because you kind of do look, compartmentalizing it as a nerd.
generalizations.
Yeah, being in like the spaces that we train in and stuff, you don't see that often. And it's super refreshing to see that there are people that
My
train heaps.
dating life
There's-
sucks.
You can be fit and have
No, no, no.
kids.
It's like, I reckon it's like, we talked about all these footy joke guys, and we assume them to be shallow or something like that. I think that was a similar thing I entered with them. Like, okay, we got a fitness person.
Yeah.
They're going to be at this level. And so
Yes.
I think Pete's saying there's a lot more depth.
100%.
EQ.
Which again is what I always say. I feel like I bring more to the table than
Yeah.
my appearance, and
I agree.
I think that's what I get caught up with dating. Is
And
it's
I wouldn't say your
constantly-
dating life sucks. I would just say that you may be dating like below your potential,
Yeah,
and that's why it
100%.
feels like it sucks.
Yeah,
It was just really cool to see that and understand that and go on that journey with you. It was really cool, man. Like, it was really fucking fascinating, to be honest.
Thanks for having me.
It's all right. And Jimbo, you want to say anything on the way out?
Not really.
No. He's a psychic. Sign up. Ames, thanks for coming. That was
Thanks for
fucking
having
amazing.
me.
I'm so glad to have you on.
Thanks.
We can do it around your mum's house if you want. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's our
I'll wear
favourite
red
podcast.
lipstick.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We love you all. Thank you, Josh. I did date you once. That's hot. Hashi, I love you. I'll see you later. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye.
What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting. The car's cold. The Pioria.
Get the fuck out of here! What? Fucking warm it up. Get out of here!
You heard the man. Get out of here. Thanks for listening to Irrelevant Platitudes.
So sweet.
Comments. God. It's like 11:30. There you go. Dude, ages.